Crucially, Crowny has the BF sword. Probably gonna go into Storm Racer. While Ice, I'm assuming, will probably go Collector again today. He decided to go for the Berserker Greaves rush here. It's pretty uncommon to see, but it's a good tactic when you're up against an outraging enemy bot lane, as you can always then look to space them, as it might be a solo kill on top here.
Mounting, looking to remount now. Trayson is going all out. Bear Trap on a rope. Q3 ready to go for Trayson. Trayson just going to accept this. His boss slowly waddles away. Another Bear Trap. D-mounts as he gets the ulti off. Trayson full committal here. Flashback from Boss, and that's first blood for Trayson.
That's a solo bolo, as Boss ends up falling once more.
Saren, though, forcing the ultimate. Nemesis trying to back away. Yeah, that's 5 for 5. Solo kill every game. Boss better this time around in the initial stages, but still falling short in those all-ins post-level 6s. The good news, at the very least, for Los Ratones is that they have set up now around the Drake.
Has he been solo kill every game? Oh, wow. That's a kind of a crazy statistic.
I mean, the man is committed to trying to outplay.
Vẫn là 2-1 nha anh em ơi. Vẫn là gọi là 1-0 cho bên phiếu Tem Heritage thôi. Trận này em nói Tem Heritage trừ được, dư săn trừ. Tại vì cơ bản thì bọn này nó hơn Trình hẳn.
The wave is already gone. It's too awkward, I think.
Dan already hooked the wall. Q flash. Ulti goes in, completely wide.
It's just so overforced. It's really hard to make a gank work like this when enemy team has already gotten the wave. And now you're such an awkward position here. As Veli ends up wasting a lot of time, and those Void Grubs, all 3 of them go over to Team Heretics.
Comfortable spot to be. Dragon stacking, nice to have for Los Ratones. Maybe means they have first setup in the future. But
Thằng gạo cọc rồi.
Sequence of play there.
Đạp giò. Đạp giò của Bruno rồi.
Trayson no ulti.
Oh, Boss.
Is gonna remount.
Not a whole lot of damage on Boss's Kled this game.
Reckless going in, the root immediately connects. They want to burn through Saren. They know that he has no ultimate, but they don't.
Nè, bên phía của thằng LA này mà đánh đấm cái gì anh em ơi. Không đánh được đâu.
But he ulted too late. Sheo grabs the kill. He didn't respect the Jace damage output there.
I'd love to get a replay there. I think Velia misplayed. He didn't get the auto reset on his E, it looked like. Because they for sure should have had the damage to take down Saren there. Ends up being a disaster for LR as Nemesis flashes forward for what looks like a good play, but it ends up being just Velia falling. They continue to fall behind all across the map.
Difficult. Both the plays they forced on the bottom side of the map, bot lane and mid lane, have just gone awry. First one, just not an efficient use of spells, right? Just trying to overforce the mid lane. Another
2-0 cho bên phía của Tem Heritage dễ dàng này. Đánh dễ dàng.
So Nemesis gets the E spread onto Saren, flash W's, and then Velia, he doesn't get the E auto reset. He needs to do auto tech E, but he just used his E. That's why he doesn't have enough damage to take down Saren. Bit of a mechanical misplay there. They fumble that kill and yeah, chance at the game.
That's a tough one. Crowny and Reckless do get a bit of time alone on the bottom side to help start to balance out the gold. Most of the gold in top lane and jungle. So if Los Ratones can find another fight where those 2 players aren't involved, Sheo or Trayson, there's some hope here, but it's a tough one, especially given how heavily physical damage focused the Los Ratones lineup is between, you know, the Kled and the Field. And Trayson really doesn't mind just continuing to stack armor.
Hối hận MU. Hối hận MU chưa. Tin anh em tin MU là tối nay ngủ ngon rồi.
Caitlyn Rice are not exactly the best tank killers. Caitlyn gets to a point where she does an incredible amount of damage, but that's like hyper late game.
Yeah.
She has this interesting power spike that's kind of like a V-curve essentially, that she starts off incredibly strong, then gets kind of weak in the mid game, and then towards the later stages of the game, once she's like nearly full build, then she's suddenly Exodia again, one-shotting everybody with headshots. That could be a win con that LR could play towards, but at the same time, if it's 40 minutes and both Aphelios and Caitlyn are full build, I think I'd rather have the Aphelios.
Yeah, again, the ease of execution. Aphelios, a good ult, a good sequence when you got the white gun is just enough to just end the game, whereas Caitlyn, you need that setup, you need those opportunities with the traps, which are often hard to come by. Unless you're first on the setup, and unlikely to happen now that Los Ratones find themselves in this deficit, although Velia is going to make sure that he gets the crab. Sheo now running. Nemesis, nice sidestep on the hook, but the ulti in mid lane is going to make things tough.
Sten has no hook here.
Rồi, bắt được vị trí của Sten nữa nè. Bên phía của LA bất ngờ có cho mình cái mạng của Sten anh em. Gỡ lại được một mạng.
Costs them a little bit.
Yeah, Ice is able to pick up one plate there and deny one wave from Crowny.
Crowny? Uh-oh. Well, nope, that was not it. That was really bad.
Yeah.
I would love to mince words. That was terrible. And that sucks, because he did just get that kill. I get the dopamine of wanting to push for more, had the rest of the team on the way, but
I feel like he didn't mean to press ulti there. Because it was kind of weird. He like walked in auto attack range and then started ulting him.
Maybe meant to E backwards, accidentally pushed ult.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Tự nhiên chưa bắn cái lục gà vậy á. Bắn lục toàn thua rồi.
And kind of mitigating any sort of advantage they got from that kill earlier.
Damn. Well,
Phở câu chứ, phở câu bắn lục toàn thua thôi.
Something to look forward to, but Los Ratones, the silver linings we often try to find in their games, try to give them the benefit of the doubt. They fought so hard last year. And it's spring of new masters. I feel like we haven't gotten back to that level, which I think is what's disappointing for a lot of people. I don't know if they ever hit the highs that a lot of people wanted to attribute to them, although they were super dominant. I don't know if they were ever going to be a top 4 team.
You feel like they're playing worse now than they're playing. Or don't you think it's a little bit unfair though because they're playing against a much better.
Ở đây khu vực đường trên thì Rodrigo Darbon vẫn đang ăn hành ở vị trí của Chelsea nha. Mày Chelsea này đi lên cứng khừ anh em. Mấy này đi chung chỉ có ăn hành thôi, nói thiệt với mọi người, Chelsea giờ này đi lên cứng khừ rồi.
Yeah, no, I think that's a fair portion of the discussion as well. I'm just saying that even with that in account, I still feel like this team is playing under what their ceiling was.
Phú Thảo.
In ERL.
Phú Thảo.
They're quite lifeless.
It's tough.
We'll see how they can play this break here.
Mân đàm.
You can steal it. Nice. Secures the objective. Ice trailing behind, but Team Heretics can't stop it. So second Drake.
Yeah, 2 Drakes for Los Ratones. Maybe we caster curse them in a good way as they get Sten's flash as well. It's gonna be the Chemtech Soul. It's very nice for the Mundo, but not so much for everybody else.
Not too bad on the Quad of the Rise.
Yeah, but you would have wanted something else.
Yeah,
like you could have Hextech.
Yeah, of course you want something else.
Yeah. So.
But not the end of the world. Reckless is doing what he can to hold the wave here, and
yeah, just pissing off Ice a little bit.
Being annoying, being unbreakable.
Since losing a lot of HP though, it's gonna probably be forced to base now. Sten comes back from base with full HP.
Ooh, Crowny has to be careful to stick around too long. Well, the value's on the way down, so maybe there's an angle. Zooming in.
Flash, but
that is a Swifties Mundo. He is a fast boy.
Tầm này thì vẫn là cái lợi thế nhỏ dành cho bên phía của Team Heretics với đâu đó là khoảng 3k tiền. Đánh chiêu mọi người à. Mấy thằng này đánh nhau ít thôi. Anh em mình ngồi coi mấy thằng này coi đá banh. Phút 70 rồi.
Because it led to the rest of the map being so awkward as Velia wanted to find the gank, but Reckless wants to base. Now Baus is, I think, 99% dead, but maybe he can find a miracle.
Black, a little bit more, flash away. Not quite enough life. One more auto.
He gets that remount.
Chú Hai 10 độ chắc là chú Hai. Mụ cho tiền sáng. Cố lên Mụ ơi.
Great sidestep by Nemesis there on the Cassie ulti. Quickly clicks back to get out of it, and that ends up being Saren falling with now Nemesis ulting down to bot lane.
Ice has the bot side play. W forward from Reckless. Immediate cleanse going to come out. Ulti doesn't hit, however. Ice now going to try to turn things back with an ult of his own, but he just doesn't really have the damage. And Los Ratones grab another kill.
Yeah, they're making some good plays back to back as they get Ice's sums. They take down Stand. Now Crowny can finally get to hit the spot tower, which he's been really wanting to do as when you're playing this Caitlyn.
Ulti hits onto Ice. Ice still not too concerned, however. Keep in mind, on the top side of the map, Sheo has just been doing Herald this entire time.
Yeah, I mean, Team Heretics are getting some great cross-map plays. You see 2k lead now from Sheo over Valia.
Nico cười gượng gạo.
Top lane as well. It's really the jungle and the top lane that are pulling ahead here from Team Heretics. It's gonna be really scary as we approach these next fights.
cái này còn ghê hơn anh nữa.
How much of a problem Sheo is because he's going to be a pretty big one. As long as the shock blasts are hitting ideal targets, it'll be good. As Baus now running. Ulti hook. Ooh. Extend if it hit the wall or the Kled would have been enough, but in this case hit neither, so Boss just barely able to make it out.
Yeah, if he hits balls, he's still out. He's unstoppable and he wouldn't get in front of him, but Ice has no flash here.
Ice
dead.
Caught out again.
Great play by Los Ratones. They find Ice on mid lane. Finally, Crowny getting some redemption. So they're able to now hit mid tower as well. They might be able to break the full turret here. Send one slash over.
Nah, not the best tech splash angle. And again, for Sheo, if he can connect the poke onto Crowny or get into range of Crowny, it feels good. But this is one of the reasons we talked about the Braum earlier on.
Ôi 4-4 luôn anh em ơi. LA có một cái tình huống giao tranh gỡ lại được luôn. LA có một tình huống giao tranh gỡ lại được luôn cả mọi người ạ. Anh em tin được không? Anh em tin được không? LA đã bất ngờ giao tranh thắng.
Great plays from Los Ratones here to try to close this gold gap somewhat. It's still the top in the jungle that are a bit of a problem, but you see Nemesis building a lead of his own, and Crowny's doing the same. So really the pillars that Los Ratones needs to play around. So they carried them and played so well last year.
And one of the things that we were looking for, and I think a lot of fans were looking for, was the scaling options for Nemesis and Crowny. Rise scales pretty fantastically, as does the Caitlyn. Although, again, execution on the side of the Cassio Felios, it's a bit easier.
Yeah.
Mà em nghĩ là thằng Tát không thua đâu. Có thua cái trừ của anh em mình thôi, chứ thua cả trận thì nó không thua đâu.
She can run people down a bit easier.
Run people down. Yeah.
It's an interesting build from Ice here. He decided
Thua
to
cả
go
trận thì không thua được.
to LDR. It's kind of like when you have a calculator and then you decide to turn it off and not use it.
Is that true? Have you done the math? I haven't done the math. I can see the logic that the percentage increase in damage against a Mundo, a Kled, and a Rise. All of them.
But then
Thua
why
thế
am I
nào
building
được?
collector?
Thua thế nào được?
Like, it doesn't make any sense. If I think they will be so tanky that by second item,
yeah,
I'll
then
need
don't make
LDR.
this about the LDR.
Okay.
It's about the collector. You just want Stormraiser.
No, but I'm fine with collector. But you should only buy collector if you think they're not going to buy
Jack,
armor.
they've rung the bell. It's time to fist fight.
Okay, fight.
down the bear rope. Ready to get things going as he's going to demount. Reckless is in the area. Trayson unstoppable for a moment as the stun manages to connect. Good follow-up damage.
He's dead.
Trayson still lives for a moment. Flash backwards into the footwork. Some good follow-up poke from Sheo, but Los Ratones take control of mid lane. Shift their sights now down to the third Drake.
Oh, this would be huge for Los Ratones, but Trayson has the TP. It's crucial.
Bây giờ là bên phía của LA vẫn có cho mình 2 con rồng nha. Họ ăn thêm con rồng thì đó là 3 con rồng anh em ơi. Sở tách cái lượng rồng khá là ok. Này, hồi nó có linh hồn rồng mình có khi TH thua luôn, có linh hồn rồng có khi TH lại thua luôn, không đùa đâu. LA đánh mùa này chưa thắng được trận nào nha, đầu mùa tới giờ.
Tone stick around bot lane, however. It looks like Ice in the meantime is going to be able to knock down that mid lane tier 1.
Win hút mà.
Okay. We got a 5, you know.
There's some life.
Couple minutes until the soul. I gotta say, after you said that, what do we see? Multiple back-to-back 3-man groupings of Crowny, Reckless, and Velia just playing for kills, finding the angle.
Very true. Also, did you get the collector LDR thing? You understand my gripe?
I understand. I mean, I understand your gripe. Yeah.
Thank you.
I'm not like a collector super fan or anything.
No, I'm not a collector super fan either. It's just there are times when it's okay, but if you think the enemy will buy so much
Phú Thảo
armor,
pháo thủ.
then it doesn't make any sense to buy it.
But have you felt the dopamine of buying a serrated Nurk on your first recall?
Yes. Yeah. Obviously, it feels good. But he didn't do that. He bought Berserker with his first recall.
True.
Oh, but Nemesis doesn't have the ultimate.
Trying to get tricky on the side steps here, but again, you talked about the Cassio so good at walking opponents down, trying to get tricky onto Sheo. Nemesis still living for an extra moment. Oh, good response.
Đây rồi, có cho mình cái mạng dành cho vị trí của Seo. Bây giờ thì Seo chạy nhưng mà Seo ăn cho mình đó là một cái vali vào mặt anh em ơi. Vị trí của Vanya tầm này đánh con Bundo trâu quá. Vanya có đồ rồi. Bên phía của Tem Heritage thua được. Tem Heritage khả năng cao thua được.
Los Ratones, they still have some life in them, and it's Nemesis that's leading the place, outplaying. He baits and buys so much time for his team to pick up the kills. It's 2 kills for Los Ratones. They're gonna get the top tower as well, and it's all on the back of Nemesis.
Yeah, credit to him. Just outplaying in the 2v1, living way longer than he should be able to. Now the gold, only 1,000 difference between the two teams.
I mean, it's just some great sidestep here on the Cassio Qs. Dodges the first one, gets hit by the second one. Dodges the Jace Q here, flashes the melee Jace Q. Dodges the Cassio Q, sidesteps the Cassio ulti. Then eventually ends up going down.
Này, bên đây tàn đánh bị con Mundo lùa hết đội hình. Con Mundo Mundo của thằng Vanya nó lùa hết đội hình mọi người. Nó lên ăn dây xong quay lại nó quýnh luôn thằng Serin. 2-3 mạng dành cho bên phía của EOA liên tục. Mundo cũng đang có đồ bên phía của Team Heretics gọi là khá là ok. Còn Afe thì thọt lại. Đánh cái thế trông rất là đần mọi người. Đánh cái thế trông rất là đần.
Also, yeah, you highlight it. Might be the victim. Unstoppable now. Sheo trying to get in range to get the target. Will not be targeted as wants to run for his life. Demount. Sheo continues. Yeah, there's nowhere for him to go. Down he goes.
Oh, it's a bad death.
That is a bad
Nemesis
death.
is going to get some plates on bot at least, but I'm worried that Team Heretics could look to start Nash here, but maybe with Nemesis pressuring on side.
We said it in the draft too. That is a Cassio Aphelios. If he's got the white gun and Cassio shows up, that objective will die. He doesn't have the white gun though.
Yeah, he doesn't have crazy good guns for the Nash. And Boss will be up in 20 seconds.
Oh, he's cycling as quick as he can though, and Blue's about to run out. So,
okay, he's gonna have white gun. He has white gun.
All right. Aphelios secured a lot of objectives this game. They're gonna need him to secure this one.
Ở đây thì bên phía của EOA đang là rớt Baron cho bên phía của Team Heretics nha. Heretics khả năng cao rớt được con Baron này anh em ơi. Baron, ui ơi cướp được Baron luôn. EOA cướp Baron luôn. Ôi EOA lật luôn.
Team Heretics set to get the objective. They had the setup, they had the damage, but now Nemesis on the chase. It's a bit of a split fight as Velia's off to the side, 1v1ing Trayson.
Nemesis wasn't able to pick up more kills, but Velia with the steal, he's the hero. Los Raton so desperately needed, and now he looks to chase down Trayson as well with the help of Crowny. And with Drake spawning in
EOA đánh ngu như vậy mà cướp Baron đồ lật đồ được luôn anh em ơi. Đánh ngu mà ai dễ lật được. Đây vị trí của Chelsea khả năng cao bị bắt mà. Chelsea tóc biến qua tường. Còn cho mình cái hạt không nổ nha. Nhưng mà đánh không được cái hạt không nổ anh em ơi, vẫn chưa đánh được. Bây giờ đánh được hạt không nổ nhảy ra khá là xa và chạy được.
That man is a plant enthusiast.
Well, as we watch the replay here, it's Velia that's able to use his Mundo passive to get unstoppable. Trayson doesn't get the W on him, and then he just barely smites it. A perfect smite at 1390. He gets that objective.
You can see catharsis for Yamato and the rest of the staff behind the scenes. Well, I assume for Caden as well. I can't tell if he's popping off. I don't really have the angle, but
he's for sure popping off.
For sure
this is winnable.
Come on boy. Để coi bên phía của EOA làm gì được game này không anh em ơi. Bên phía của Team Heretics cũng thuộc dạng mà đánh cũng dữ đấy, không đùa đâu. Mà thắng được Team Heretics thì là hay thôi.
This is a big one. Boss is off on the side. Team Heretics want to hold their position here. Don't want to let Los Ratones in.
Los Ratones, I mean, the pressure here around Seoul means they haven't been able to use their Baron to get any objectives on the map, but it has given them a bit of control here. Nemesis getting poked, not ideal.
Serin và cùng với đó là bên phía của gọi là TH bây giờ là muốn tranh con rồng này rồi nha. Bên phía của đối phương thì có cho mình đó là con Baron. Nhưng mà bên đây thì có cho mình con Afe anh em ơi. Con Caitlyn tầm này bắn làm gì bằng con Afe. Caitlyn bắn không có bị bằng Afe đâu.
Hoping to punish Boss on the flank.
Boss looks the pressure.
A little bit bold, might come down to another 50-50. Lots of poke onto Nemesis. Already that blinking health bar, objective getting lower and lower. Ice waiting over the walls.
Rồi, ánh chân dẫn lỗi được thả ra. Ăn được rồng hóa kỹ cho bên phía của EOA. EOA tràn lên em ơi. EOA có rồng. EOA tràn lên bắt đầu là đánh rồi, làm việc mấy thằng này thôi. Còn Afe bắt đầu là không có góc đánh rồi nha. Vẫn là bắn được đến từ vị trí của Aphelios nè. Ăn cho mình một cái phát bắt trúng, mất đi cái lượng máu khá là nhiều, nhưng mà tiến sâu thì đã gãy hoàn toàn rồi. Bên phía của EOA free shot anh em ơi, bắn hết cái hình bên phía của Team Heretics và đó là một cái chiến thắng cho bên phía của EOA. Chiến thắng cho EOA. Mà chắc chưa pha này chưa end được đâu, pha này chắc là chưa end được đâu.
Los Ratones revitalized in their 5th game in LEC versus their fans as well. The streamer, a booth down from us as well. Job is not done.
They need one more fight.
But seeing signs of life, seeing more of what people wanted from this lineup and this roster.
It's a beautiful ulti here from Ice, but it doesn't quite land onto the key LR carries. And this fight looks so good for Team Heretics when Saren gets this 3-man ulti. But it doesn't matter because it's just not enough and there's no follow-up.
Arsenal tập này đã rướng lên tấn công rồi. Bộ Long đã thủ được khúc này là win nha, đã thủ được khúc này là win nha.
He's an absolute monster this game with the amount of damage he has in these fights. as he takes down Ice as well. He gets a triple kill.
Quan trọng là khúc này thôi nào, đá thủ được khúc này là win nè.
Remember that it was Nemesis, it feels like, who brought them back into this game. Certainly Reckless, Crowny, Velia, that trio doing what they can to find those quick picks. But now, 27 minutes in, 5K gold lead, so behind them.
Yeah. And now the Nash is the next objective. The next play on the menu, unless Los Ratones can look to find a pick before that. They're looking for Sheo here. The Rise will come.
Bên phía của LA tầm này chắc khả năng cao là có một cái chiến thắng đầu tiên ở trong cái giải đấu này anh em ơi. LA đang đánh khá là tốt ở những game này, có linh hồn đồng đồ các kiểu bắt lẻ luôn vị trí của con dây luôn rồi. Lợi thế là có nha.
And the damage from Nemesis is the 4K gold lead on mid lane. Nemesis is truly showing his prowess this game.
Wow, the haters in shambles. Well, maybe not in shambles. They're just going to shift their attention elsewhere. But Los Ratones, it was a rough early big missteps, safe to say. Boss going down early on, but Silla's been a pretty relevant threat in this game. And at the end of the day, Nemesis in this matchup, I mean, comfortable. He's no stranger to this matchup, even at this time in the LEC, but really has been the driving force behind this team.
Yeah. And looking at the damage craft, I'm surprised that Sheos is such high. I mean, it makes sense as he's playing this poking Jace champ, but I feel like he hasn't really had the impact that I was looking for with how big his gold lead was on Velia. I suppose Velia's smites have also done a lot of work this game.
That they have. Mundo, tough to just obliterate that health bar. It gets easier now that Ice has 3 items, to be certain. But that poke damage, again, really needs to hit a key target. And you saw in the fight around Drake,
nghĩ mà U thua kiểu này lắm mà.
Half HP, and that was all the poke of Sheo, making that happen. But it just wasn't enough to stop Los Ratones from having that bigger advantage. Now, Team Heretics really on the back foot. Blue Trinket, spotting them out around the objective. I feel like Los Ratones could start it, especially with the Rise, obviously.
They definitely want to look to start it. They just want to push insides. Now, Nemesis facing probably has the Rabadon completed. That's a big spike for this Rise. I mean,
hỗn loạn quá.
Doing a whole lot more now. And now with this, I think they're going to push down this mid lane. We'll start Nasher with a... Well, Baus is just split pushing on bot here.
Mộ liệu có gỡ được quả này hay không đây?
Decided they want to try to get control of Nash. While Baus is just pushing bot, they're going to start it.
Baus doesn't really have a wave here. It's going to clear one more. Might opt to stick around. Frey on the 50-50. Finally going to TP to get involved. Unbreakable already used before.
Cần phải gỡ được quả này nha.
Ice, red and white, ready to fight the fight, but Boss now stepping up, as is Trayson. The Baron's still leashed, 3.9k HP. It's a messy fight. Crowny at half HP. Sheo, huge shock blast onto the back line. It's a very slow, extended fight, and Ice is having a hell of a time with it.
Ở đây LA chắc là lật rồi. LA chắc là lật anh em ơi.
And the Baron heals right back up. And there's supers now in the mid lane that demand an answer.
Crowny is looking to just run to lifesteal somewhere, I think, because he has BT. I'm not sure. He's looking for Raptors, trying to find.
They're trying to cancel the recalls. Nemesis ready to turn.
Sheo's in trouble here.
Going back. Reckless is here as well. Sheo going to fall. And that was such a messy fight because Los Ratones had access. Oh, that's gonna be killed. Crowning. Feels
and
good.
Now with 2 kills, they're gonna run for the Nasher.
And how is this the same game that started with Crowny randomly ulting and immediately dying?
LA ăn cho mình đó là con Baron thôi.
That's the magic they bring.
Trận sau này ai đánh vậy ta? Trận sau ai đánh ta?
It's 10 seconds till Elder spawns. Stend is dead for 17. Sheo's dead for 21. I don't think Team Heretics are even going to contest.
Yeah, it's going to be too hard for them to contest here. And I don't want to jinx them on their potential first win. But
trời ơi, MU nó sút kìa anh em ơi. Vãi luôn, MU nó sút kìa.
Near 10k gold lead.
Em lóng nói mà. Cho nó gỡ 2 đều.
They have all that they need.
Xong mới sút. Sút 3-2. gọi là
And for
cú
Team
sút
Magic,
sấm
who were,
sét.
they felt like pretty in control at the earlier stages, punishing Los Trones for overstepping.
Cú
Really
sút
started
sấm
to fall
sét.
behind the ball in that mid game, ultimately culminating in that one smite steal. I think if they secure that Baron, this is such a different game for them.
Yeah.
But ever since that moment, they just haven't really been able to do much.
I just think Nemesis has just been doing too much damage. And that's been what's really sealing
Chả ai
the
tin.
for them in the team fights. So now Sten needs to find a miracle engage.
LA tầm này là win anh em. LA tầm này là win rồi. LA tầm này là win rồi.
With that ulti, you can still do a lot of work. Reckless's unbreakable cooldown is going to be big here. See, Velia is still low health, but has access to the ulti. Pops the maximum dosage. Boss isolated on the side. Flash forward from Saren. Immediate
Trời
fall.
ơi,
Huge
nó sút.
damage and trace it into
Nó
the
sút
back
vậy sao
line.
đỡ.
Nemesis still stands. The Elder still there. It's
LA chưa end game nữa à. Em cũng mẹ tụi mày đi. Thì anh Long coi tập trung coi mụ đá rồi.
And Nemesis is not going down without a fight as he continues to carry team fight after team fight on the rise. Wow. Nemesis and Velia, just a standout performance from them. And a brilliant game from Los Tones.
I mean, yeah, again, some fumbles in the earlier stages, but a well-earned win. The steal on the Baron, the countless 2v1 maneuvers, the skill shots, dodge, Nemesis completely on fire. You can vote for your player of the game, Velia, Nemesis, or Crowny at LEC on X. All solid options. But here we are.
Here we are. Los Ratones, you said at the start of the cast, will Los Ratones win a single game?
That was the question.
Will it be today? And
the answer, it was today.
Yeah. Sten won't be laughing no more.
No, that's a rough one. That's going to be did not age well.
Yeah.
But it has to feel good. A bit of relief for Los Ratones after a pretty, it's a tough start.
Yeah.
They have always been under a spotlight in a way that I think a lot of teams coming from ERL just wouldn't be, but they're of course a different breed, right?
Yeah, but I think today was really nice because you get to see very clearly like the strengths and the weaknesses of Los Ratones. You get to see Bao solo getting solo boloed and struggling, but you get to see also the creativity of some of their plays, Velia's smites, and just Nemesis and Crowny, how well they can play these team fights, how much damage they can dish out, and just the stability of their core carries.
Fair enough. That's enough from us. Let's send it down to Lore.
Let it be known that nobody beats Los Ratones 5 times in a row. Baus, thank you so much for joining me. The whole arena was chanting for you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Tell me about today, especially after the rough start that you had. Did you have a feeling that it was going to be different? How did you guys feel, and how does it feel to finally grab a win here in the LEC?
Well, personally, I was feeling not the best after yesterday because I felt like I played really badly. I didn't feel like I played that well today either, but, you work and you improve. But as a team, we've just been, after these losses, we've just been working really, really hard to try and get our stuff together because we want to prove ourselves and we want to show up good. So we've just been working day in and day out, pretty much.
Yeah, and it shows, and honestly something that I've been talking about too with Kajol before the tournament started was that it's so much different playing from your room, playing not together and then being all of a sudden in the office, having to show up at the studio every week. How has been your experience adapting as a pro player so far? Tell me about it. The good size and bad size.
It's a big difference for sure. I like being in my own little room and where I feel comfortable. And here, this is a lot of fun as well, though. Having everybody in the audience cheering for you, it gives you a lot of energy. So thank you, guys.
I do hope this win is gonna make you feel better and give you guys hope for the rest of LEC versus. I gotta ask though, I remember you 1 year ago, inting left and right, playing your Sion, playing your picks. Sure, it's banned right now, but I don't see the Baus that I would see before on stage and that I would see in game. Did you lose yourself? Are we gonna see this one again, especially here?
Well, it's a complicated issue, I think 2 years ago the game was a lot different as well. I had to swing bows and law. It's been changed so much. It's really hard to pull off. I can do it with Sion because you get a passive when you die, right? It's really hard to do it. Have I lost myself? I try not to. I'm just trying to play as best as I can, and I don't want to let my teammates down. So I'm just doing my best I can.
It's a team's game in the end, and you earned that W today, Baus. Thank you so much. You can applaud again, guys, ladies and gentlemen. First win for Los Ratones in the LEC. And Shox, over to you with Reckless and Velia.
Thank you so much, Reckless and Velia. Congratulations as well.
Thank you.
Reckless, I'll go to you first. You have had many victories on the stage, many of them. But how does this count up, knowing that you've been working towards that with this team and the struggles that you've had kind of in the previous games? How awesome does it feel?
I think I'm most happy for my teammates. I know we are in a stressful situation with a lot of issues to tackle at a short time span, much shorter than for other teams. So I know the situation is not easy, and when we keep losing, I think everyone slowly also loses hope along the way. We try to keep it, of course. We're going to fight till the very end, but for every loss we take, it's harder to stand back up, I think. So a win like this, I'm just most happy for my teammates because I know it will give us a lot of energy moving forward, and we still have a few games to go, and I think some games we put ourselves in a bad spot, but also some games we are in a good spot and we can actually win. We're 1-4, but I feel like we might as well have been 3-2 if some small stuff went better. So it's just important we keep the hope, and a win like this goes a long way.
Absolutely does. Velia, for you then, I know you might not have had the best time in some of the games, but again in this one you have a super important steal. You're just a raid boss for your team. How important was it for you to have a game like this where you can definitely say, it's because of me also that we won?
I mean, I think I was having a great time since it's my first split in LEC, and it was my dream to play on the stage. A bit unfortunate games in the start, 3 losses in a row, actually 4. It hurts a bit, but you know, there's still hope. We got one today, and as long as we try every day, I think we can make it. So yeah, hopefully tomorrow another W, and then we have a really good chance of reaching playoffs.
Absolutely.
I mean, the reality is that you started off with not an easy challenge ahead of you, but in a very short time period, you've already showcased tremendous growth, which for a lot of players is very difficult to do under the stress. And I mean, you've got a lot of veterans surrounding you, and they know what it's like to be in this situation, be in this pressure. But I think you should be very proud of the fact that even under this much pressure and in this environment, you're still able to grow in the way that you have. So I think you should be very happy with the performance that you had today, because I mean, those Mundo steals, your objective control around the Dragons as well was fantastic.
I mean, I am happy with the performance I had today, but I'm happier that we actually played as a team, because I think League lately, like maybe the last couple of years, became not so much of a 1v9 game, where like one player can just carry the whole game. It's just a team play, and if everyone is moving together and having a plan on what should be done, I think that's the only way to get to a win. So I think we all had a good game, and we were all moving like as a team, and that's what bring us this win. First week was a disaster. We were not playing as a team. I think today, in the match against KC, we were playing as a team, and we showed that we can put up a good fight and good matches.
Awesome. The Kia player of the game was Nemesis, as voted by our audience. Reckless, what do you think of that? I mean, he also had some great games last week, so it's a great honor for him as well.
I think a player of Nemesis's caliber should be in the LEC minimum. So it's just a pleasure to not only play with him, but also to watch him play. I feel like he's a genius when it comes to League, and it's just an honor to be alongside him and to watch him play. I wish all these years I could watch him play more, and hopefully in the future we have a place in the LEC for someone like Nemesis, because I think he deserves it.
That's absolutely awesome. Wonderful win from Los Ratones. Thank you so much. Before we go though, you said they were going to go 0-11.
I did.
So,
I did say that.
Unfortunately,
gentlemen, I have to apologize. I was a doubter. I did not believe, and I have to eat my words. So I'm very sorry. I hope you guys continue to win, and you can prove me and many of the other doubters wrong. Congratulations, gentlemen.
0-11 is crazy work. Thank you.
I'm sorry. That's fair enough.
Thank you so much, and we'll be right back for KCB versus Movistar Koi.
D mounts as he gets the ulti off Trayson. Full committal here. Flashback from Boss, and that's first blood for Trayson.
Elia.
Come. Yeah, but maybe 80
is here.
They're really low.
I can ult them. I just need a clean angle.
Really low. Cassio can splash.
Cassio.
Has splash.
Cassio in the bush. I kill her.
Yeah. Give it to Crowdy.
Go into it. Nice. Slow. We win. Kill everyone.
Yes.
Kill everyone. Kill. I'm dead. Careful. I think you win though. Nice.
Nice, let's go. Good job, guys.
Good job.
Drake is now Doran, decent position, double
break down my walls, but I won't rise again, cause I stand tall in my environment. How could I ever close my eyes and stay silent since they try to take me down with their violence?
Oh, they go back in, Bishop flashes in, and down goes!
Em Long đang coi đá banh nãy giờ chứ bơ ai.
welcome back to the LEC. We have changed the caster desk. Well, not the desk itself. We've changed the casters at the desk.
It is a little lower.
It is a little lower, and it really annoys me because I'm a big like lean over and cast sort of guy, and the Valorant casters apparently want it lower because they like sitting down. And honestly, it's just laziness.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's just laziness.
If only they were better at their jobs, you know.
They're really good at their jobs. This is Pansy we're talking about.
I was talking about Mitch Man.
Okay, Mitch Man slander I can live with. Pansy slander, no one slanders her. One of the best casters in the world in history. Anyway, League of Legends is where we are. MKOI up against KCB is what we're going to kick off this second half of day 2 with, and officially about the halfway mark of the split. Now we have had 5 days or 4.5 days of League of Legends actions, and we have about 5.5 left to go. So let's see what these two teams want to draft. KCB, one of a couple of teams now in the league with only 1 win so far. Lost Return is obviously joining them there alongside SK at that 1-4 mark. But KCB, if they can knock down MKOI, it would be a massive scalp to claim.
It's even just the fact from KCB's perspective in general, they've been performing exceptionally.
True.
I've been really, really impressed with this roster and what they've managed to achieve, even if some of the wins haven't gone their way in some of those matches, but you can already see.
Ở đây KC Blue mơ mới thắng được thằng coi này anh em ơi. KC Blue mơ mới thắng được thằng coi này. Chứ khó thắng được coi này lắm, coi này mùa này đánh ghê. Thằng coi mùa này đánh kinh nha.
Week on week, KCB continue to improve, and that's always something that you want to see, especially with some of these players coming up from tier 3. Over the off-season. MKOI with right of first selection are on the red side with first pick. They're going to lock in the Rumble after banning out Akali, Varus, and Nico. KCB took away the Orianna, the Jace, and the Azir, and take Yunara and Ryze as their first rotation.
Yeah, I think Yunara is still incredibly strong in the patch, but have you seen over the course of these last couple of weeks that teams are willing to just prioritize the Aphelios afterwards, and you kind of get that trade of, hey, we just both get late game scalers that can pop off as we go on. And we'll have to see what Camilo could try and do in the Ryze. It opens up a lot for Yukino in the jungle, and the ability to play around Yukino has been something that KCB have done incredibly well in the early stages. So I'm hoping that we get some more aggressive invaders and that kind of playstyle for Yukino.
Yeah, that jungle battle really excites me. I remember when Elyoya and Razork were coming up through the ERLs. It feels like Yukino is kind of that next generation of junglers that can really take the stage by storm. I did say that MKOI had right of first selection, picking first pick. Actually, KCB had it, and they chose second pick. MKOI then chose to be on the red side, just to clarify that for anyone at home who may have been slightly confused. Vi and Talia.
Bên phía của KCB có cho mình con Yunara, con Rai, cùng đó là vị trí con Casante anh em ạ. Ngược lại bên phía của MKOI, Rumble, Vi với lại con Talia. Ôi trời, MU tôi yêu, MU thì chả yêu chứ yêu ai nữa. 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 Từ từ anh em ơi, em bị lag, em lòng bị lag, anh em thông cảm. Đây rồi, quay lại bình thường, Em lòng lâu bị lag mọi người.
And their support to lock in.
So Jarvan going to be banned away. I'm not 100%, like, I think you still got options here as Yukino. You can go towards something like the Zenzel if you want to try and take the early fights. And looks like that might be the cause, yeah, because you've already got that point and click CC with the Ryze. There's a lot of pressure that can be put down in the mid lane if you want to try and look there.
Also allows you to create this sort of circle of safety while MKOI try and dive onto your back.
Ai chẳng muốn thắng một.
From the Talia, from the Aphelios, and make sure they're on separate sides of the fight, allowing your team to then collapse on Elyoya if he dives a little bit too deep. MKOI looking towards that Aphelios you talked about, wasn't banned out by KCB. They're like, okay, you can play someone who has to sit a little bit further back, and we'll try and negate some of that power.
I am curious what the response from MKOI for support's going to be though, because you preemptively banned the Lulu, which says to me you want to try and go for the Braum here, and basically say, hey, look, you probably want a Rel or an Alistar or some sort of engage tool to come through from Prime on that bottom side. As long as we can preempt that and take away that engage opportunity with the Braum, I think you're in a decent spot here.
Yeah, I think Braum definitely solves some of those problems. Alistar does a similar thing if you just want someone who can disengage but also can follow up on that engage. And Alvaro's Alistar, to be feared. You don't mess with those horns at all. As KCB now looking towards their support, like counter pick support.
Tầm này cái đội hình bên phía của thằng MKOI này nó lại bích ghê đó anh em. MKOI này đánh ghê, MKOI đánh kinh bỏ bu đi. Hôm nay mụ đá trận vui quá mọi người ạ. Coi mà cười cũng bệnh luôn, má mụ sút ghê nha, mụ có mấy con hàng sút ghê nha.
Probably guess that MKOI are going to go for heavy engage. My only worry is that you do lack your own engage in that situation. So it looks like with the Aphelios and Talia, two immobile carries, they're going to look at the Bard instead just to try and provide that lockdown with the Tempered Fate. I like basically what both teams are bringing to the table though. KCB, good mid jungle that they can try and play through, pushing bot lanes that enables them to look for invades off of that strong mid jungle and see if they can play in towards those later fights with the Yunara. And for MKOI, I mean, it's hard lockdown, lots of CC, lots of abilities to pick off members in a fight and target one down. So we'll have to see. It feels very much like MKOI trying to.
Anh qua đây trang tiếp với anh Chí Nguyện. Đã quá mà em nói mẹ mụ gọi là đá động luôn. Anh em cứ gọi là Arsenal thôi. Rõ hôm nay MU đang hừng hực khí thế mọi người. Em này lúc nào cũng đang gọi là đang phong độ cao thì anh em mình lượng khúc đó.
Negating his power in a fight at the start of it. You kill the Vi, you kill the Rumble, who are relatively squishy, and then you can go front to back. It could make a lot of sense. I had a quick look at Prime's Bard history. He has not won on it in 6 years, well 5.5. Last time he won was.
Tầm này chắc là bên phía của thằng mà coi thôi mà coi để coi mà coi chấp bao nhiêu nha. Để coi mà coi chấp sâu không. Mà coi chấp sâu quá bỏ anh em. Đánh tài thời gian, anh em mình đánh tài thời gian là đẹp. Tài thời gian nhé.
Team Queso, this cheese, isn't it?
Yeah, Team Queso LVP team
is one of his other teams.
Oh no, sorry, he was playing on Mad Lions at the time, not Team Queso. My mistake. Not my mistake. But let's get into the rift.
KCB đánh với cái tên gọi là thằng mà coi anh em ơi. Anh em mình làm cái gọi là tài tam đi, tài tam 31. Được mọi người, tổng thời gian 31, ok.
As Yukino and Tao try and get a bit of vision in here, they will put down the ward. Camilo with a bit of a trade there with the spell Flux on to Jojo, using those autos as well, but takes a threaded volley in return. Jojo popping through the potions early. Hazel and Prime trying to step forward here. Ghost coming out from both. Oh, good flash cosmic binding from Prime. But the knockback from Alvaro means that Super only suffers half of his health.
Still going to be a difficult lane now for Super to play. Alvaro not going to be very useful in the early stages. You're already below half HP. And the ability for Prime and Hazel to just step up past this wave is so strong. I'm curious if Elioya starts to change up his game plan here and see if he can try and support the bot lane. Maybe force Hazel and Prime back a little bit.
And the only benefit for Super and Alvaro is they didn't burn flashes, so they do still have that to try and escape the clutches of a cosmic binding.
Camilo đánh con Rai. Camilo giải này Camilo đánh hết cười anh em ơi. Camilo đánh cười không nổi.
Should be able to chip that Cassante low before he goes back and gets some magic resist like the Canik Rook gun. That magic as a shield really negates a lot of the power Rumble has in the lane, at least the kill threat that he can develop.
Bên phía của thằng gọi là mà coi tay to nha, mà coi tính gợi giải này mà coi là tay to mọi người. Cho nên để mà thắng được mà coi trong giải này thì em nghĩ là mấy thằng này cần phải nỗ lực nhiều quá.
Prime not having flash makes him, no pun intended, a prime target. So I think we'd expect Elioya to try and get down to this bottom side at some stage.
I think part of the risk of that for Elioya is that there is a ward there, and they know there's a ward there. So if he goes blue into Razor Beaks, you know he's there 2 camps too quickly. Like junglers, players at this level, players at levels below this as well will be able to track those timers, know that the Vi is there way too quickly, and then can readjust how they're playing the lane based on when he can get there.
Because Alvaro kept his flash, you could probably go for the late gang.
I agree. I 100% agree it's a possibility. I think KCB should have been wise to the possibility if it had materialized. And that jungle matchup is definitely one we want to focus on through the course of this game. Yukino, one of the stars on KCB. Elioya having a really good start to the split. MKOI generally actually having a really good start to the split. And you can actually see Elioya, he's falling behind in gold difference at 14, but he's actually really involved in his team's kills in the early game and generally throughout the match.
Yeah, I mean, especially you could see that yesterday, right? Like, the ability for that Pantheon to move around, get picks in the mid lane, then set up for even that first blood on that top side towards Mirwin, really changed the dynamic of that top side matchup. And it looks like that might be the call here again for Elioya, at least trying to get some vision down, spot out.
Ba đều gọi là tầm này không, mấy giải này đánh nhau ít quá anh em ơi, coi như buồn ngủ, coi như ru ngủ. Đánh chậm nha, giải này đánh chậm.
They could just be trying to get a little bit of vision of his own and then go for a reset. You get the home guards. Slightly quicker clear from Elioya means he'll be back out on the map just that little bit sooner. Actually looks like he's going to path across towards mid lane right now.
Yeah, I'm curious where... Because you've already got Jojo that's got control over mid, is pushing out, so maybe looking to see if he can just wrap. Oh, he is going to wrap around. Oh, never mind. I was going to say to the bottom side, but not going to be the case.
I didn't see pings on him as he pathed up towards that blue buff area, and so I think the pathing there is to avoid the ward that would be placed in that situation. Jojo here getting caught.
Rồi bây giờ bị đấm nè, có chiến công đầu cho bên phía của KCB nha. KCB có khi nào nổi cái hũ được thắng được bên phía của MK không nhỉ?
Yeah, nicely done by KCB to set that one up. Jojo falling down. He played exceptionally yesterday and managed to avoid so much of that pressure in the mid lane. But Yukino and Camilo making it happen.
Yeah, really nice stuff. I didn't see on the screen him use his flash earlier on. Maybe I missed it as Alvaro.
Có đường nào thằng này rùa thắng được không anh em? Em nghĩ là khó lắm. Tại vì cơ bản thì thằng gọi là bên phía của thằng MK đến là ao trình anh em ơi. Trình mấy thằng này không bằng. Tình huống có mạng khá là dễ đến từ vị trí của Suba.
Super secures the kill.
Nicely played by Super. Waited for Hazel to run out of that extension on the Q, and then able to turn it around and get that last little bit of damage down. Super stepping up with that early kill here for MK.
I think really Hazel just didn't anticipate how much damage was coming out of that Gravitum as well. Having it back up in the middle of the fight, really well played by Super. Gets himself a BF sword on his back, which is a massive advantage over the recurve cull that Hazel has had to pick up. And although Super and Alvo were struggling a little bit after the level 1, now very much back in the lead in that bot lane.
Camilo's still trying to put pressure down though. I think at this stage you can still try and play as KC Blue through mid into that bot pressure, but Jojo going to get
onto Jojo. Rune Prison could follow up on this, doesn't quite. Seismic Shove will get the knockback onto Prime, but he's fine and dandy on that Bard. Just gets the push out here with Camilo. Jojo still no flash for about a quarter of its cooldown. You see Alvaro trying to work his way up towards that mid lane, covering Camilo, and that's what Alvaro and Elioya need to do, trying to get damage onto Camilo. They need to cover Jojo to make sure that he can get these push outs, that he doesn't have to overextend without this flash.
Đang coi trận map này em đông đi gì đó hả? Em đi cái tại thời gian anh ơi.
I think this is where we'll have to see Elioya getting a little bit more creative and trying to play around this mid portion of the map just solo and see if he can get some deep wards down. You can see they have a decent ward just in over at the Raptors that'll spot out exactly when this Xin Zhao is coming towards that bottom side. But if MKOI, I think you're kind of happy with.
Trận này đi cái trên thời gian thôi. Bên phía của KCB mà muốn thắng được bên phía của MK là phải cần có một cái sự kỳ tích lớn luôn mọi người. KCB nếu mà muốn thắng được là phải cần kỳ tích lớn luôn đó. Thằng MK đánh ghê mà.
Alvaro covering towards the bottom side of this is going to get caught out a little bit. Camilo ghosting in here. Looking for Jojo, misses the overload, but just needs a couple more autos. Prime comes in and secures it. Meanwhile, Camilo takes the tower shot.
KCB đổi mạng anh em ơi, đổi mạng. Choáng không được đến từ vị trí của Brdime nha. Brdime tóc biến quy nhưng mà không thành công anh em ơi. Mấy thằng này có phải Keria đâu mà đòi đánh con bạc.
Oh, that does not go the way KCB wanted at all. Two of those Qs whiffing from Camilo sets up for MKOI to follow through. So you can see there, one, not able to hit another one. And then Prime taking that kill as well means that it's just a Talia that ends up
with the cao vậy 10.5 chuẩn luôn anh. Mấy cái trận cao này anh em mình nên sủi chắc ăn.
It's a mess for KCB.
Cao quá thì anh em mình nên sủi. Tại vì mấy cái trận mà gọi là cao quá nó đánh sợ không đủ đâu. 500 tiền dẫn trước cho bên phía của MK nha. Hôm nay KCB có thể nói là đối trọng khá là nhẹ mọi người ạ. Đối trọng khá là nhẹ.
Does still have a flash of his own and can just tank up that damage from Mirwin. The big lead for MKOI down in this bottom lane. Super getting that kill means that he's about 400 gold ahead. Stacking up his color. He's about 17, 18 stacks behind, but it doesn't really matter too much. He'll be there soon enough. Seismic Shove into Unraveled Earth there. Will catch out Camilo, who at the moment does have the push on Jojo.
I'm waiting to see how much pressure MKOI want to try and put down towards this dragon. You're getting resets here for Elioya and should be in a decent spot after this to try and take a fight if he wants to. You got MKOI with push on bot side. Maybe an opportunity to try and go for something here, especially with the BF to a recurve on that bottom side.
3-2 dành cho bên phía của MKOI, đây hơn mấy xị thôi.
The overload sidestepping it, gets the seismic shove down. Then when it misses, doesn't just let Camilo walk back into the lane. Has to walk through a big rock and then a threaded volley as well. Lyoya clearing out some more vision. Jojo with the push, no TP on Kamilu, does have the Realm Warp. Yukino spotted down on his Krugs. Rise backing away, Mkoi can start to set up around the Drake. It's a Scuttle Crab for now for Lyoya. As a jungler, he'll be very happy to secure that minor neutral objective, but doesn't look like they're going to go for much more as of yet. Maybe they are.
Yeah, I think with the way the map is set up, it makes sense. You push on mid, Kamilu had to reset. It was about half HP and half on mana. And Mkoi set up that slow push on bottom side, so there's a little contest that can come through here. So I think Yukino kind of reading the play correctly. I imagine he's just resetting immediately to run up to Grubs, but maybe he'd be able to take some. But I think at this stage,
Hồi nãy đang coi trận Napoli cái gì? Sợ trôn thì trên mạng ổn mà em Long á. Mà nay coi trận MU đang thắng vui quá anh em ơi. Nãy coi trận MU gáy gọi là giờ mệt quá. Trận MU này gáy giờ mệt quá.
Grub's kind of a consolation prize in a lot of games right now. You lose the Drake, you go for Grubs. You have to make sure you have enough members over there to defend it if a fight does happen. But while this is happening, Hazel is losing out a ton on the bot side.
It's also with the crystalline, or the crystals, it feels so much less impactful.
Oh, Hazel stepping forward, headbutt pulverize into the Sever and Moonlight Vigil. Hazel stepped up too early.
Rồi, có thêm mạng dành cho vị trí bên phía của MKoi nha. MKoi đánh như thế này thì bên phía của KCB không win nổi anh em ơi. KCB không win nổi. Đấm hất tung vào vị trí của Camilo. Camilo nằm tiếp ở đây có mỗi mình ra thằng Yukino này có vẻ như là cố gắng thôi. Một mình thằng Yukino đánh được.
A bit more damage onto Lyoya, who has to flash. Prime comes across. Alvaro with the flash headbutt pulverize there. Didn't quite connect and now he's gonna pay.
Xin chào hai mạng, xin chào gỡ lại mạng được. 3-0 cho Juventus luôn. Quả Napoli ngu như là Napoli đúng phí luôn.
Which meant that when he flashed over, just got the pulverized damage, but yeah, a little funky. And it means that now it's just more going into the hands of KCB.
Yeah, sometimes Spec Client can be a little bit odd with these things. I'd have to see it in live. But Hazel here, just a bit greedy trying to get up to the wave.
Yeah, the fact that Prime wasn't there and Mkoi had already stepped past just makes that nearly impossible to try and follow up on. And then it looks like a little bit of maybe miscommunication here as Alvaro uses the Unbreakable Will. But here, Lyoya gets the lockdown on towards Kamilu. Jojo gets the flick back. And then Yukino with a nice win becomes lightning as Lyoya had got the interrupt there. But I want to keep my eyes on this because...
What happened there?
Yeah.
I mean, Alvaro confused as we are.
So I think, so basically the way you can work Alistair is...
Trời ơi, Napoli. Thằng Juventus nó sút cả anh em ơi. Juventus sút ghê nha. Đang coi Juventus đá Napoli, nó Napoli cút rồi. Qua led hơi trễ mới nổ hũ hay Mandan và Barivision. Em Long cũng vậy luôn. Em Long cũng vậy, em Long cũng ngồi coi Mandan đá nãy giờ. Với lại coi Barivision bắn xong 3-0.
And get Mkoi's 7th kill of the game.
Nice again from Mkoi. And this is kind of what Mkoi been doing such a good job of the last couple of days, has been just hard focus on let's play around Jojo, let's get Alvaro and Lyoya involved, make sure that we're finding these quick skirmishes. And we got to see that kind of snowball out of control against Fnatic yesterday, and we're seeing a similar story here where these skirmishes for Mkoi have just been so good.
And the reason they can do that is because Mkoi won the bot lane. Predominantly in a 2v2. Lyoya has been around here, but hasn't have to be in the lane to influence it. Super now has
cái sảnh TF bây giờ nó vẫn còn xoay à. Anh em có ai chơi sảnh TF không?
The fact they were able to get those early kills, and then the fact they were able to keep Hazel so far away from the tower as Prime was roaming to the mid lane to try and stem some of the bleeding that was happening with Kamilu. Super
cái sảnh TF nó bảo trì cả một ngày luôn. Cả ngày hôm nay sảnh TF bảo trì.
Does need to be a little bit cautious because Kamilu can come down with the Realm Warp. Alvaro's going to get slowed by those Bard auto attacks. Cosmic Binder coming out as well. But you can see Lyoya waiting near the Gromp. He's like, okay, if a fight does materialize, I can immediately react.
Also good roam from Jojo as well. Started to shift down and had that Weaver's Wall to get into position if need be. So I think KCB rightly realizing that there was a potential to be outnumbered. But Yukino, not to be outdone, immediately moving topside.
Tao going all out onto Mirwin. It's a little bit of damage down, but he might actually just be losing this.
Mai xin đồng là mình đánh với Billy. Với lại WE đánh với Thunder Top. Trận này đánh Thunder Top ngon, Thunder Top khả năng cao khều được 1-2 game. Chắc là một game. Mai có quả WE với Thunder Top đó mọi người. Ngon á. Thunder Top khả năng cao khều được một game.
Like Super's now about 13 stacks ahead for himself. Hazel has been denied so much in this game. As Tao once again steps
Xong rồi
forward.
trận Billy Jin Đông Gaming nữa, cũng trận hay. Ngày mai hai trận dễ chơi.
A puppy. Small pause, you know.
It's a little Toby, you know. Yeah. I think like this is an absolute. So if you look at just the kill score, 5-7, it doesn't look that bad for KCB. But the fact that this Aphelios is so far ahead is disastrous for Karmine Corp. He's going to end up outperforming this Yunar in so many of these fights. And again, a lot of that, the conversation we had at the start was MKOI have great engage with Elyoya and Jojo Pyun, but Supa has to be the one to follow up a lot of that damage, and he's going to have it in shovels and everything as you get into this.
Ngày mai hai trận hay, Em Long đang coi lịch ngày mai đó. Ngày mai hình như có SK không? Mai vẫn có.
Maybe that was absolutely. It was flying.
Đâu, ngày mai có SKCL nè. SKCL ngày mai 12 giờ đánh nhưng mà tầm này buổi trưa bọn này nó không có nguồn nữa. Bọn này buổi trưa nó không có nguồn đâu.
When you remove his ability to like decide which direction later on he does the W, you have to give him levitation.
I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. If I knew more about anime, I'm sure there's some sort of like guy floating on a cloud meme. But neither of us really huge anime fans. Although the new season of Freewind just came out. I'm hearing very good things about it. It's a very cozy anime if you've never watched it. Highly recommend. Don't be distracted by the fact that she's called Freewind the Slayer as Tempered Fate comes out in the mid lane. Alvaro with a good headbutt to get the knockback. Hazel trying to trade onto Super, but you just can't trade in. As Super pops the ghost and walks his way out of danger with the help of his cow support.
Yeah, it's really difficult to try and trade into Super with the Storm Razors complete because that's slow, doing a lot of work, and Super showing he's more than happy to take these fights. We're dragging up. Oh, Yukino
dives in. They've got the Weaver's Wall coming down from the bottom side as well. Crescent guard out from Yukino to try and
Rồi Lukaku sút ngu chứ. Hất được 2-3 người đến từ bên phía của MKOI. Thôi, toàn dành cho bên phía của KCB quả này. MKOI càng quét cái hình bên phía của KCB.
Jojo played that fight so patiently. Waited until the ultimate from Yukino had disappeared, then went for the flick back, which meant he got all the damage off and actually set up for the kill to come through. Tao sitting towards Super in this mid lane though. Still have to be a little careful.
Not going to be able to get anything out of that. Alvaro here scouting out the red buff. I was wondering if Elyoya might go in there. A bit of vision put down. Let's have another look at this fight because they dive in onto Yukino and for a moment it looks like actually KCB might be able to turn the fight.
Yeah, and you're kind of sitting here going, okay, well, we've got the Vi ultimate down. Traditionally, that's when you see the flick back come through, but Jojo just waiting until that ultimate from the Zinzao was gone, gets the double flick, and now Super in a 1v2.
Gets the double root into the Moonlight Vigil. Hazel almost
8 năm cho bên phía của MKOI. MKOI khả năng cao là chiến. Tầm này đã chiến thắng dễ dàng rồi. Hết trận này ọp anh em ơi. Mà em Long đói quá. Em Long cần phải ăn cái gì đó, em Long đi ngủ. Ngày mai live tiếp mọi người. Hết trận này chắc khả năng là cá đuối. 2 giờ mấy 3 giờ. Giờ mà còn nói nữa tới gọi là 4-5 giờ. Thôi, cá đuối lắm.
Bow buns, but slightly misspelled. Toasted Tao in the top side as he has to flash away with the all-out. TP's coming in from MKOI. Good cosmic binding onto Mirwin. Tao going forward for a little bit more. Mirwin's got to flash away.
Ôi trời ơi, mà coi khả năng cao là thắng. Đẩy vào tới khúc này, mất kiểm soát hành vi đến từ bên phía của KCB mọi người. Thật sự mà coi là một cái đối thủ quá khó dành cho bên phía của KCB. Đánh không lại anh em ơi.
MKOI finding so many more picks. They're starting to run away with this now.
Yeah, 7,500 gold lead at 60 minutes. It's pretty one-sided. KCB has shown us good signs of life. But very quickly going into asystole here as Hazel needs to run away from Super. Crescendum Calibrum. Good guns to clip you off at long range. And meanwhile, on the top side, Jojo should be taking away some of these plates from the tower. Hazel going in. Look at the damage onto Super. Prime coming in from the side as well. Hazel trying to flash forward, but doesn't land the shots as Alvaro keeps them at bay once again. Camillu coming in, trying to find Alvaro, but he can't get close enough. The spell flux won't be enough to catch out Elyoya. They will get some plates on this mid lane tower, but you need more than a tourniquet to stem this bleeding. Jojo looking to see perhaps if there was a possibility of a flank, but
bên phía của KCB là không có vị, không có vị.
Still a decent collapse from KCB. They end up getting some plates. Waves are in positions where they're able to catch them all as well, so they don't actually lose out on too much for trying to make the play happen.
Tại vì cơ bản đi cái đội hình bên phía của mờ coi mẹ nó mạnh từ mấy mùa này. Còn thằng này có vị gì đâu. Khổ quá.
Hazel does still have the ghost. It doesn't have the ult or flash. Tau here, about to be collapsed on by Mcoy. Knock up into knock up. Tau tanky enough to survive through it. Pathmaker back. Prime comes in with a Cosmic Binding. Doesn't quite land the stun. The Tau is still standing here, but Mcoy fighting behind it as Tau chipped away at by Mcoy. They'll get another. Realm Warp in by Camilo. Mcoy now caught out a little bit with cease and desist. Dives onto the rise, and he's not doing that. He's falling where he stands. Yukino caught out by Super, trying to find a way out of this one. The Dustwave doesn't quite connect on him, but a Vault Breaker finds its man. Mcoy once again collapsing, and KCB doing exactly the same, but in a slightly more detrimental way.
Mcoy just played around that wall so well, denying KCB. Oh, hang on a sec.
Oh, Prime almost falling. Hazel trying to protect his Bard. Prime had a wall through, but needed the magical journey, because otherwise Super would have collapsed onto him. Another tower going down. Mcoy extend their lead to almost 11k before the 20-minute mark.
Yeah, this is a confident play from Mcoy. You can kind of see why people are talking about them as the best team in the league right now. Just the ability to blow open games like this is so incredibly strong. But we get to see here, like, Tau in a terrible spot. Mcoy are trying to make this play happen. You can see the Rise Realm Warp to try and get in. Maybe KCB have the advantage in numbers, but you can see, like, Soup is in a great spot, Jojo's relatively untouched, Hazel can't really get in position, and Mirman's able to walk up. It's just using the terrain so well there to deny KCB any real entry.
Everyone understanding their jobs as well.
Tầm này thì bên phía của KCB có thể nói là không có vị gì với lại thằng mờ coi này cả. Bị đánh giá thấp hơn rất là nhiều anh em ơi. Và KCB cũng đánh đúng rồi. Thực sự với mọi người, một đội mà vừa mới thăng hạng cho quăng với đánh với thằng mờ coi này quá là khó. Mờ coi đánh thuộc dạng là tay to rồi. Mờ coi đánh thuộc dạng là tay to rồi.
Mcoy, as you say, definitely the best team in the league right now. Cease and desist. There's no Crescent Guards to save Yukino. And perhaps Zayn was right as Xin Xiao dies once again. And for Mcoy, there's another Drake. Elioya is going to work his way across towards that. It will be Soul Point 21 minutes in. Tau's going to get caught out a little bit, but should be able to walk away. It's just Elioya giving him a friendly fist to the face as he forces a Tau to back away from the Dragon Pits.
Yeah, third Dragon, control on the map. Like, there's so much vision even still on that top side that they're going to be able to dictate kind of next moves around Baron. Mcoy are just in such an incredibly strong position. And I like the KCB are trying to make plays. Like, so many teams would just roll over at this stage, but they're trying to see if they can find picks, using the things like the Bard's Magical Journey to get into positions fast, but it's just not enough.
Tau flashing in.
Thô mẫu được cái vị trí của Mơ Win về nè, nhưng mà tầm này có ai dồn đâu. Tao cô độc anh em, tao cô độc ở trong tình huống này, tao nằm. Hôm nay coi hết trận sau nó ợp nha mọi người, coi hết trận Fnatic anh em mình ợp chứ. Qua là EC hơi trễ. Nổ 2 hữu Mandan. Anh em mình coi thêm trận Fnatic thêm trận sau đi. Tầm 3-4 giờ anh em mình ợp.
Forgetting one of their own. Another tower falls, a 12k gold lead. Only one tier 2 remains now for KCB.
And Elioya is just reading Yukino so well. Every time he tries to make a play, Elioya is only a matter of seconds before he shows up as well, and often turning the tide. It's such a great display from Mcoy.
It really is. Mcoy doing a great job. For KCB, some signs of life in the early game. Still signs of life now, but there's only so much you can do at this point. And Mcoy can two-man this Baron. They have the protection of a Weaver's Wall from Jojo to cut off anyone approaching. And Alvaro also with good vision control towards that blue side jungle. My expectation is you take this, you push out all 3 lanes, because you can. If you want, you can 1-3-1, use both the Rumble and the Talia in the side waves to get that push in. Just need to look for that mid-tier 2. Elioya and Alvaro covering the Aphelios here. Super still such a strong position, almost 3 items already on this Aphelios. Tau's going to get the knockback onto Elioya, who does tank a tower shot and really does more damage than Tau did. Hazel got clipped by just 1 flame of the Infernum as Yukino tries to get Jojo off his wall with the teleports coming in. Alvaro
6-18.
running the fray back onto the KCB jungler. seismic shove dodged well. Temper Fate coming out as well with a two-man stun, but Camillu's not here, and KCB just don't have the damage. Moonlight Vigil almost clips the heels of Prime. Doesn't quite have enough to kill off that Bard, but with one man less, KCB really can't defend to come against the oncoming horde that is MKOI.
And they just get to move up to that top side next as well. The Wave already in a decent position. MKOI, they are really putting a chokehold on KCB here. And it's still like Mountain Soul is in 2 minutes.
Tập này bên phía của MKOI thắng chắc anh em ơi. Ra hầm đồ ăn cái rồi, hết trận ra cơm cái em coi trận Fnatic nè, trận Fnatic anh em mình gọi là đánh bích nha, đánh bích nha.
Been in the oven so long, that guy is burnt by now. He's charcoal, it's a crisp. MKOI, you can't taste good, you can't get much gold out of him. Jojo taking a tower, and once again Yukino goes down. Camillo and Prime trying to stand and deliver, but the post is late, there are delays. There's wrong postage, you didn't pay enough for the package or something, KCB, because this game has been all MKOI.
Which is mad, because MKOI put enough stamps on this thing at this stage that you think it would have got somewhere.
I don't think the sole of your boot counts as an adequate stamp to send something by mail, Rob. MKOI just absolutely demolishing KCB, and this is kind of what we expect. We'll have another look at the fight. Alvo caught out a little bit, but as Tao jumps in, immediately stunned by the.
Tại vì tầm này là bên phía của thằng gọi là thằng này là win chắc rồi anh em ơi. Mẹ thằng mờ coi kiểu nào mà thua được game này không có cơ hội. Rất là khó thua, hầu như là thua không được anh em ơi. Game sau quốc Fnatic ngon nè, game sau quốc Fnatic nè.
We'll be pushing out through this bottom side. Still have 30 seconds on this Baron buff, so next wave is the last wave of it. Super's on the top side, Super's coming through mid. They'll be about even on their timing, actually. The Super's in top, held up by an opposing minion wave, but that won't stand against them for long. With Baron buff, Jojo just buffing up these minions. The rest of MKOI grouping up around mid. Temper Fate just short of hitting Jojo. A smart play from Prime to know there was someone just around that corner. Really have the vision on him. MKOI, they can settle this without a soul if needs be. Jojo waiting for the next wave. Baron now expiring. Two waves of super minions coming in. MKOI will turn their attentions towards the last remaining tower outside of the ones guarding the Nexus. And that will very rapidly fall. An equalizer onto Hazel forces him back to base. The third inhibitor goes down as well as Super and Alvaro look for the fight, and Prime is taken out, divided by two it seems. Elioya going for a little bit more, dives in with the cease and desist. Tao trying to protect his AD carry, but you just can't do anything against this MKOI. An absolute demolition, beautiful stuff from MKOI. In sub 26 minutes, they clean up the game and they claim their second win on the week.
Winning in difficult lanes, winning on the map, absolutely destroying KCB when it came to team fights. I mean, MKOI, that was clean.
It really was. Incredible stuff all around by MKOI.
Em nói vẫn là cái chiến thắng trong phía của MKOI thôi.
Jojo support Alvaro options. I'm support bias 100%, but that was really nice from Alvaro. Like that's the sort of Alistair you want to see in every single one of your games.
Yeah, I mean, across the board though, like MKOI just looks so good. I love the fact that they're finding these like quick rotations around mid lane where they're forcing these small skirmishes, and then also just, I mean, great League of Legends, like good hands in so many of these plays, outperforming across like the weekend as a whole. Like MKOI just feel like they're really stepping up to a new level.
I think the whole team is impressing. Super continuing to impress as well. Has a really good start to this season. We saw some great signs from him in 2025. Some really good AD carry performances. Worlds let him down a little bit on the international stage, in my opinion, but he continues to show why he is one of, if not the best AD carry in our league. I think right now, probably the best AD carry in our league. I'm going to hand it over to Law, who is standing by with Alfari to break down that game.
Not quite, but he also works with Alfari, head coach of the team, Melzet. Thank you so much for joining me today. I believe Medic was saying that Supa is the best AD carry we have in the league right now. You're not going to say otherwise, but what, according to you, makes him the best AD carry in the league?
I think he's the smartest one in the league.
Yeah?
Yeah, with his tempo, rotations, and how he thinks how to control the map and the spots, I think he's the best.
Okay. Something that I've been asking you players is, from the fact that you stayed with the same players, the same team, to the level you have on stage right now, it feels like nothing has changed, nothing has passed. It doesn't feel like you haven't been playing together for 6 months. So how were you guys able to pick it up where you left things off last season?
I think it's just keep working on the same things and identify as a team what is important to play. And yeah, I think it's the easiest way to grow and compete.
I've been asking your players what are the learnings that you have from 2025. Most of them were talking about internationals and how they want to make it better next time they get onto that stage. As a coach, what do you think?
Yeah, the same. Like it's the same objective. We need to improve a lot, in a lot of areas, but I think we know what we need to do. So it's now a matter of time, and if we are able to do it.
Now the question is, how do you get better for the international stage with the quality of games, as good or bad as they are, that you have in the LEC?
I think you can do the same. You can be more oppressive. You can still work on the fundamentals. Then you are going to adapt to better players and small details. But I think that's the easiest way, the easiest part of playing international. I think they have way better fundamentals and good habits.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, good habits. And talking about the coaching staff, you had obviously to replace a lot of people. You now have Alfari and a new assistant coach. Tell me how it's been working. How did you build new foundations maybe with this coaching staff, and how is it different from the people you had last year, especially working with Alfari, helping Mirven?
I think when the Alfari opportunity was on the table, I took it because it feels so well with one of the players I couldn't give so much attention individually. And I think Alfari is super good at it. And then I took Inde, that I always wanted to work with him. I did an interviews in the past, but he preferred to stay in IRL. So yeah, I'm super happy with my new coaching staff. So I think everything is working so well.
Yeah, it does. It is working so well. Something that I keep on hearing is that you guys are one of the scariest teams we have in the LEC right now. At least that's what the other teams are saying. So hopefully it can continue for you guys. Gracias por la entrevista. Thank you so much, Melzed. And Finn, over to you.
Thank you so much, Lauren. Thank you from Melzed. Yesterday we actually had a quote from Melzed where he talked about Supa kind of needing to step up a little bit and showing why he's the carry. And I think there's no better game to break down than this game, because I think Showa had an absolute banger of a performance. I'm gonna break down where it started. I'm gonna break down the transition, how we got to the end. So, it all starts here in the bot lane, as it usually does. It's level 4, and as we roll the clip out, we're gonna see a very volatile trader from Alvaro comboing in under the tower. And first I thought that there wasn't really anything here, but in the end, Supa's constant aggression here kind of forced a kill onto Hazel that I didn't see possible, and I doubt Hazel saw as well. So with the Q there from the Gravitum gun gets an instant kill. And this will transition later here from the Dragon that they take with this bot pressure. Now, usually when you take this Dragon, the standard play is to recall and set up the map again and again and again. We've seen it many times, but there are some analysts that are going around saying buzzwords like skipping steps and doing things like that. Now, I think that's a pretty vague term, so I'm gonna try to break down what skipping a step actually means. So you see here, as we roll the clip out, Alistar is covering his Aphelios, so Aphelios can push out, and then he's gonna recall and open. But now, if you pause right now, Bard is showing on mid lane, and Alvaro, being very quick in his mind here, realizes, wait, they don't have any vision in bot side. That Yunara is gonna be completely isolated, because soon we're also gonna see, as we roll the clip out, that Xin Shao is showing on Grubs. He's realizing now that Yunara is completely isolated. He changes the plan. He skips the step of basing and opening the map again to actually camp in the bush behind the Yunara, because he knows Bard is not there, he knows Xin Shao is not there. And I think this is something that we will see now with KCB going from the ERLs to the LEC. Maybe they're not really prepared for, because these teams play so fast. They play so volatile, and Bard is trying to make it here in time. He realizes that his AD carry is in danger, but is a little bit too late. And Supa gets an amazing kill onto Hazel. He drops 2 more waves, tries to push out on Primer, doesn't really get anything. But from this point onwards, MKOI snowballed this into a super dominant fashion. And I think both Supa, Alvaro, and Elyoya worked in perfect tandem in this game. If we can bring up the Supa stats just to highlight once again how well he performed this game on the Aphelios. Look at that damage per minute. The KDA is amazing. And even across that, he got the player of the game. Really well played by Supa. And once again, just like Melset said, this is the guy that needs to step up this year. I think he's already shown that he's on the path to do so with great perfection. Now, we're gonna go to a break, but we'll be back soon enough.
Clip Camilo, but I think Alioya might clip him with those fists. Alioya claims his third.
I will go rise, okay? Super, can you follow?
I'm stopping the others.
Bro, if I press the mind right now. Keep playing this, okay?
Overhit. I'm moving.
Mine! Nice balls. Penta?
Penta?
Penta, Penta, Penta!
Going.
Oh, bad. He barely took it, doesn't matter.
Bro, I took it with Ignite.
Good job.
Damn it. Hey, Dracos, you ready for the... Oh, that doesn't look good. Wait, I have a solution, but you have a break. I will be right back. Just wait.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
See? I told you we'd figure it out.
I don't think this counts.
Come on, let's go.
Red Bull gives you wings.
Hey there. Every season starts the same way. Everyone wants to win. But not everyone prepares the same way. I can't wait to show you what I have in store. And trust me, this year, everyone's leveling up.
Alright, headsets on, guys. Just give up.
Welcome back to the LEC for Game 5 of today. We got more action coming with GX taking on Fnatic, and I want to give you for the very first time in 2026, Lospa, thank you so much for joining me. Quick question, thank you Berlin. Quick question about GX bot lane. What do you think about Noah and June and how to play around them?
I think Noah is very aggressive player, and then I think June is one of the best support in LEC. But today, I'm pretty sure if we play well, I think we can beat them easily. So I hope we can win.
I love the confidence. One thing that you have to be careful about with GX.
I think June really loves to flank a lot before the fight. So if I mark June pretty well, I think it's gonna be pretty easy game.
All right, let's see that in action. Thank you so much. Good luck for the game. Casters, over to you.
Really good to hear there from Lospa. It does actually have some experience with Giant as well. Played for Giant Pride, which is now Giant Itero, I want to say. Is that
I wasn't going to attempt it, spell.
Well, I'm good. I hope, you know, it's Itero. Itero. I don't know, man. Itero. That's what we're going with. Anyway, Fnatic chose first pick after having right of side of first selection. Giant have picked red side, so we'll have a normal draft. And we will get into it in just a moment's time. But for Giant X, win yesterday against Lost Retones. They are sitting at 3-1, one of the best teams in the league, at least from a scoreline perspective. I think some people would argue the Shifters game in week 1 perhaps shouldn't have been a win. Shifters maybe should have taken down the Nexus there, and then they'd be sitting kind of more middle of the pack. For Fnatic, they lost yesterday against MKOI, who are looking like the best team in the league right now. Can they bounce back and actually pick up a win on day 2?
Yeah, well, I think looking at the game yesterday from Fnatic, there was good things in the early game.
Sure.
Right? There was good moves. Razork was playing around Vladdy, got some kills around Upset as well. Really started to open up the game. He was 2-0 in the start. So I think that was where Fnatic should kind of go, okay, we had a good start. Unfortunately, MKOI just outpacing them when it came to the mid game, and there was some overextensions from Fnatic. But I think there are positives to take away from that game. And I think especially for this, if you can try and take that lead early against Giant X, we've seen that Giant X haven't been able to establish a lot of those, comeback potentials that maybe they want to.
I 100% agree, and I think it's a game that's going to be defined by the bot lanes, right? Junglers going to bot lane are looking to get Noah and June or Upset and Lospa ahead. Upset so consistently has been the guy on Fnatic. It's okay, if we play around him, we can win games. And for Giant X, I think Noah has been the shining light so far in this split. His Kai'Sa has been exceptional. So we see Akali, Yone, and Vivans coming out from Fnatic, Jace, Varus, and one last man, it's Jarvan from Giant X.
So Azir, Ryze, Yunara, all still up and available if you want to try and go for it. We'll have to see. It is interesting to see a lot of teams opting in towards red side because there's so many power picks in the different roles. You're just happy to say, hey, I'll get 2 for the 1 that you get on blue side. But I imagine it'll be Azir here.
Rob, right of first selection changes that. Remember?
But in this
case,
yes.
I mean, Fnatic chose first pick. So you get second pick anyway, no matter what side you are. I do wonder perhaps I, in solo queue, have a 6% higher win rate on blue side. I don't know why. It's something to do with the angles. Maybe teams have actually looked at that for their players. We prefer playing with easier access to Dragon Pit, or we prefer playing with easier access to Baron Pit.
I think that was looked into for league as a whole or something.
Yeah. There's a slight mismatch. I think there was one with Rumble where it had a 5% win rate higher on one side than the other. Anyway, Rumble is picked for Fnatic. That bug, thankfully, was fixed. Giant X going for a tested combination. Orianna, Nocturne, the Darkness Wave spreading across the Rift. Isma's Nocturne, we saw it a couple of times last year. He's pretty confident on it, and Jackie's on the Orianna. It's a relatively easy combo to hit. You're also giving away the Yunara, so Giant X kind of know we want someone that can go in and assassinate that backline.
The question though is how do you
nhớ hết chứ sao không nhớ.
How do you try and respond to keep these 2 carries safe, right? Because they are immediately going to be trying to jump onto Yunara and look for the one shot. So do you try and take something like a Lulu or something along these lines for Lospa to try and provide a little bit more healing and shielding and a health bar in general to try and survive? Or what is your answer here? Because if you end up having a solid mid jungle that you can play around to get early kills and set up Orianna for success, you just don't have a counterplay button in a lot of situations.
Yeah, I wonder if Fnatic will look at, can we find a counter engage for ourselves? Nico is still up, something to distract the enemy backline while you have to survive through the shockwave, but with a barrier, you can kind of do that. With a stopwatch, you can kind of do that on the Azir. So if they're the players being dived on, maybe you can just survive that initial shockwave combo and then go in for the re-engage. Wukong Band Away does that to a degree, the Cyclone getting onto that backline, with the K'Sante being the last pick for Giant X. So we have AD carry mid and top on one side for Fnatic, and then that
Tầm này bạn bất đến từ hai bên. Bên phía của GX hiện tại là được đánh giá cao hơn là bên phía của Fnatic nha. Để Long coi coi nào được đánh giá cao hơn à. Fnatic được đánh giá cao hơn anh em ơi. Không phải GX nha. Fnatic được đánh giá cao hơn nha.
The Zinzao in the jungle as well for Razork to just, as you say, try and provide at least that break point from the follow-up. But I said I've seen so many times where Oriana can just one-shot Nate.
Someone just dies.
It's just so hard. But Ginex, I think I like the fact that they are taking an aggressive route here. Like saying, hey, we want this level 6 combo. We want to try and force fights around us and actually take the fight early against Fnatic and try and snowball us.
Yeah, I very much agree with you. I was trying to work out in my head for a couple of moments there. What would a Darkness Shockwave Pop Blossom combo be called?
Oh.
And I think it's Microwave Popcorn. Because you put them in the dark and then they all jump up, right? It's pretty solid. Not going to see it in this game. Kai'Sa taken away from Noah as well. No real surprises there. This year, Ginex have a 100% win rate when Noah gets that. Kai'Sa has played it in 2 of their games. So, here Ginex looking towards their AD carry makes the most sense. Leave the support counter for last. You could go for something with a bit of range and push on the bot side. Caitlyn Karma does that. Could also look towards something like the Braum if you want.
Tầm này em đang nghĩ bên phía Fnatic thắng được không? Anh em nghĩ Fnatic thắng nổi không?
For Noah, so front to back on top of that Shockwave 1D combo is actually really strong already from Ginex.
Yeah, very, very strong setup from Ginex. And again, I'm curious how Fnatic want to try and respond. Like, do you just take that Zinzao for Razork and say, hey, we're going to try and fight at least somewhat in the early stages and then have that opportunity to use Razork as that buffer between the front and back line of Ginex? It looks like that's going to be the case.
That it is. There's the Xin Shao for Fnatic now looking towards support. I'm wondering where you want to go. I mean, you could look for something that is okay in the lane, or you could just look for another beefcake, and that's exactly where they've gone. The Alistar, the Lock, Ginex immediately know they want to go for something like the Lulu. This Aphelios, relatively safe, just needs a little bit of bolstering, a wild growth if he does get jumped on, a help picks if an equalizer comes down, that little bit of extra shielding to really buff him up and allow him to survive through any initial damage Fnatic can put out.
It's also for the Nocturne, right? Whenever Nocturne goes in, you're kind of isolated, especially in a composition like this. So if Isma can try and get
Fnatic nha anh em ơi. Fnatic thôi. Chứ bây giờ mà kêu gọi là đánh bên phía kia cũng không dám. Anh em mình đánh Fnatic nhé. Fnatic đánh với lại GX mọi người ạ.
Actually really like Whimsy as well into Fnatic's composition. Like if you're going to polymorph someone, and Alistar going in for headbutt, Pulverize polymorph him in midair. Yunava dashes forward with her ultimate up, polymorph her immediately. Azir goes in, polymorph midair as well. You don't get that Emperor's Divide. I'm really
win được game này rõ ràng.
here for Jun. I did have a quick look. Noah all-time on this Aphelios is most played champion, 65% win rate on it. Didn't play it really that much at all last year, but very confident on the pick. And if you are Ginex, putting a lot of eggs in the Noah basket makes a lot of sense with how well he's been playing so far this year.
He's been absolutely fantastic. And again, like, there is so much that you can try and play through in these early stages. I'm just excited to see if Ginex can try and find that success here against Fnatic.
Fnatic trying to bounce back from that loss yesterday as we make our way onto Summoner's Rift. And, hey guys, it's a Fnatic game. I'm really sad we didn't put it on the bingo card. Fnatic pause hack?
Yeah.
Question mark, question mark, question mark. I will find out exactly what it is. Sometimes when it's this early in the game, and this is me very much just pontificating, it's a rune thing, but I do see actually on our screens, Dag has pointed out to me. I love pontificating, man. It's great. I don't even know if the word really means what I use it for, but it's a mouse problem, it seems, for Isma. And get that sorted as soon as possible. There's some other things being said in chat that are very friendly between the two teams.
Noah saying, I love you, Ivan Martin Diaz, which is very wholesome.
It's very kind, you know? Nice. And then a few meows. Yeah. A few meows coming out as well.
Of course.
The mic check-ins enjoyers from a couple of years ago. It looks like everyone's getting their ready checks out, so we'll get back into the game, hopefully, in just a moment's time.
I was just going to say, I think for Fnatic, there is a huge amount of pressure that's on Razork this game, because you've got Upset and Vladdy that want to try and scale into the later portions of the game. And you don't really have apart from Lost, but easy way to try and get into a lot of these lanes to set up. So it kind of hard forces you to go bot lane, but that also makes it very easy for Ginex to just play around that.
Yeah.
And you already kind of alluded to how difficult it can be to play into a Lulu as an Alistar. You're taking a ton of poke. You try and go for an engage. Whimsy interrupts that. This game feels a little difficult for Azurk to find success in lanes when he's going for ganks.
Yeah, there is the option to kind of try and subvert expectations as well. Go top. Cassante is killable in the early game. Will be pushed in, like, get this rumble ahead, and then the equalizer does begin to really do some damage on that backline. You catch out a Lulu, doesn't matter how much she's shielding other people, right? That shield won't save her too easily. Jackie's took a bit of poke at level 1. Will be chipped away a smidge. But, yeah, unsurprisingly, Rob, both the junglers...
Fnatic nha, Fnatic game này nha. Để coi đánh được hay không đây.
Where Noah, Jun, Losper, and Upset reside. It would make sense. It would make sense. Unsealed Spellbook on the Alistar. You know, you can see Aftershock. Sometimes you see Phase Rush. Unsealed Spellbook just gives you a little bit more power in the lane in terms of, you know, switching from the heal to an exhaust, getting a ghost, getting a teleport, trying to influence a grub play in the early game when you want to be bot, making sure that your Yunara isn't getting dived.
Yeah, also can like help you open up with a lot of taking the in the other rune choices in that matchup as well. But I love seeing the early TP plays that we've seen. Also, mid-game TP plays they've seen from so many of the supports on, like, hey, I can get out to a dragon quicker, get a bunch of vision down, reset, and then come back out onto the map. And that there's so many times I've seen that be pivotal on setting up for a TP flank from a top laner, or even just the fact that you spot out a flanker that doesn't realize they've been spotted because you're moving around the map so quickly. So I really do like that we're seeing this kind of change and how supports are using teleport like that.
I think with the Alistar, you know you're going to get poked out in the early game, so having the ability to get back out on that map a little bit quicker later on can definitely help you. Jun doing exactly that, went for the Oracles first, knowing that he's going to be able to get push control into a level 1 Alistar.
I've also seen in some of these matchups where the melee support has gone for the free boots in the inspiration tree, with the idea being, hey, I'm not going to be able to trade effectively onto the enemy's range support, which means I get less.
Tầm này thì hai bên đánh gọi là đầu game vô, vẫn là cái nhịp gọi là cái câu nói cũ anh em ơi. Môn này nó farm tới trưa mai cho anh em luôn. Ở đây bên phía của Fnatic lại có cho mình con AJ nữa. AJ này farm cũng kinh.
Yeah, you can actually see Losper there sitting with 3 World Atlas stacks, just constantly rotating around. What am I meant to do, guys? I can headbutt pulverize them, but I think we lose if I go in, so just going to stand back here. Oh! He gets one of the stacks off, 15 gold.
And it only costs half his HP, so...
You know, probably not worth. Razor's going to path in towards this top side after taking the top side Scuttlecrab. Knew he couldn't play for the bot side Scuttlecrab with how pushed in his bot lane was getting, so just gets a little bit of vision with that Scryer's Bloom and then backs away. Isma already out on the map. Both these junglers do really like to get to that level 6, so I wouldn't be surprised if we just see both the junglers going back towards the top side being like, okay, we'll go for another clear. You can get about 5.5 off this second clear. You don't have the buffs for that extra.
But this is just perfect for Isma, right? Yep. Like, if both junglers are like hands off or just going to farm, it's perfect for a Nocturne. The quicker you can get to 6, the more impactful you can be. So if you're a Giant X, this kind of slow pace early game is going to work fantastic for you.
Letting Noah get towards that BF sword first as well. We'll see if he does go down the serrated dirt route that Jack hates so much. It makes sense to me. I don't think you really need the extra lethality in the early game, but sometimes it can give you a little bit of a spike.
The actual surprise was that he didn't reset early for the cull. So often we see that Aphelios, you crash wave 3, especially when you've got the range support, go back, get a cull, and then come back in. And with home guards, it means you basically lose absolutely nothing, but very quickly start to scale up. And I don't, as we were kind of just saying, like see much in the way of skirmishes or early fighting happening, so probably wouldn't get punished for it too much.
It's an interesting sort of, there's multiple different decision trees you make there, which is I can back in early, get a cull. That gives up a bit of pressure in the lane, meaning my jungler on this side is a little bit weaker, meaning that perhaps we don't get that first scuttle, meaning this. But I do get the cull and then I get that gold infusion. Exactly. Or you can say, well, we've got the enemy Alistar down to half HP anyway. Let's just keep the pressure up, keep them under tower, make it so really harder for Upset to actually get the CS. There's about a wave's worth of CS lead for Noah, so it seems like that's what they decided. He's gone back, picked up the BF sword before going for the cull, but he could still go down that route, going for the early damage spike in the extra AD you get from the whereas Upset's gone for the recurve cull combination that we so often see on Yunara.
Either way, I mean, I think you're going to be very, very strong. You can already see the CS lead starting to open up on the bottom side, and now you start to shift Jun into working with Isma. And this is something I love seeing when you got like Lulu Nocturne, you got like Lulu Zinzao. If you can just prop her alongside this jungler, well, we may get a point in case how strong he can be.
Tầm này bên phía Fnatic đang bị chiếc Isma găng vào con bò vẫn còn giữ được cái flash trên người anh em, vẫn còn giữ 2 spell. Trong khi đó thì Jackie khu vực đường giữa thì vẫn chạy được bên bên. Jackie này đánh cũng chả phải dạng hay đâu. Bên phía của bên Fnatic thì vẫn có cái cơ hội win ở trong trận này nha anh em. Vị trí của Upset cùng đó là vị trí của Lot 3 cùng châu Âu bên đây kìa. Thằng Noah với thằng Jun là người Hàn anh em ạ.
The world is your oyster here as Giant X, and it really is going to be on Razork to try and play counterpunch. It's a very, very difficult game to play. We already kind of said, hey, you don't have a huge amount of setup in your solo lane, so I mean, Razork trying to get in.
I mean, this is the counterpunch.
Yeah.
Right? He gets the Scuttle Crab, gets 6, and then looks for the invade towards these Krugs. The fear is going to come out from Isma, who doesn't hit 6 from clearing out the Krugs. Locke's coming across to try and protect his jungler's jungle. Does bring it out from Isma, doesn't get the connection onto Razor, and now Isma needs to back away and wait for support. Path making by a lot. Jackie's and Glady trading down.
Ở đây thì vị trí của Lot yếu máu nè, chàng được Lot anh em ơi. Chỉ công đầu có cho bên phía của Fnatic nha. Nhưng mà ở đây thì vị trí của Jackie một cái tốc biến rất là hay nha. Vladi tốc biến cũng hay. Empirot thì cũng tốc biến qua đây, có lẽ thui vào vị trí của Jackie, khả năng cao là thui được anh em ơi. Bên phía Fnatic có cho mình đó là 2 mạng hạ gục.
Great invade from Fnatic. You just had that reset from Jackie's, so he wasn't able to collapse as quick. And it's Razork and Imperos who are getting a ton of work done.
Tốc biến hất tung được vị trí của Afe về nè. Afe đứng ở trong trụ để cho bị bắn anh em ơi. Nhưng mà Afe level 6 nha. Afe level 6 không giỡn được. Afe level 6 này.
That was so close. You can look at that purple bar at the bottom. If Upset had ticked 6, would have got enough mana for ults, would have had all of his abilities then back up. His mana is a little low, but should have been able to get the dash, and that would have been enough to pick up the kill on towards Noah. But either way, Giant X surviving the bot lane, and actually it's Isma who's going to pick up the dragon off the back. But we can see this invade here, like, you've got that reset coming through from Jackie's, he's not going to be here. And Impero's coming across with some great damage. And Locke can't really do anything. Isma wants to try and get in, but isn't able to follow up. And this flash from Jackie's is fantastic. But Vladdy's able to step away in the top side, and Impero's getting so much out of this early Rumble pick.
He gets himself 2 kills while sitting on plated steel caps Dorman's ring, accelerating himself in this match. And we talked about it with the Cassante. It's a Dark Seal as well for Emperos, 4 stacks on it. But the Cassante, if he gets Kanik Rukun, can survive a lot of pressure from the Rumble. But if the Rumble starts getting ahead in the early game, that Cassante is really going to struggle. As Emperos now, perhaps we'll see some more play from Fnatic towards that top side. Give him a bit of protection, get a couple of wards down. There are grubs up there as well. You can see Lospa and Jun both pathing through this mid lane to look to see perhaps if there was a battle to be found. Lospa ticking over to 6 now, a little bit safer on this Alistar.
Looks like Giant X basically saying, chances are Fnatic is looking up towards Rift Herald. You can see that's where Razork is. So eyeing the idea of a potential play on towards this bottom side, it feels like Jackie's could try to roam down. I'm not 100%, but I think the wave might be pushing out, but I'm not guaranteed on that.
Well, Razork will be able to take the first of the grubs. Isma pathing through mid here with Jun and Jackie's. They get the push in the mid lane, but now they back away. So that's going to be 3 grubs over to Fnatic. Less of a consolation prize in this game.
2-0 cho Fnatic nhưng mà họ lại mất con rồng anh em ơi.
Be happy enough to get those, and although they did give up a dragon a little while ago, they do have about 1,000 gold lead in this matchup. Osmo and Razork teaming up to try and steal away more of this jungle from Isma, knowing they have the push in top.
I don't think Giant X should be trying to commit towards this top side of the map, though. Like, you try to jump on towards Razork, he has his own ultimate to stop that Isma-Jackie's combo, and you've got an isolated Yunara on that bottom side, and you saw so many members of Fnatic go into the top half, so I think a missed opportunity from Giant X to try and make
Phần này Fnatic mà muốn win thì phải đẩy nhanh cái giai đoạn đầu game thôi, còn đỡ để cuối game con Afe nó xanh, có rồng nó phiền lắm.
I agree with that. I can see them, going in, trying to steal away this red, using the time you have towards that bottom side to try and get the pressure. Noah still with the lead in this bot lane, about 20 CS up now. There is a wave coming in. It's about 9 or so, so should even out just a little bit, but still about a 3-wave lead here for Noah. Razork looking for the gank, but the Tribush Ward and Jun and Noah respecting the fact they are on the weak side of the map right now. Their jungler having just returned to base. I mean, they can just back away. Lospa puts the pink ward in, and Noah and Jun here, I mean, you can look to really hard shove out this lane, or you can just hold it a little bit further back. Don't use that Infernum gun. Instead, just use the Gravitum. They are going to push it out a little bit because now Isma is in the area.
Yeah, Isma being within range of his ultimate means you're way more likely to have that support if needed. So I think for Giant X, again, like, we kind of said in the early stages, hey, they are happy getting to this point of the game where nothing has really happened and they're now getting access to these ultimate combos and you can start to have these pushing lanes. We haven't really seen them take advantage of that though, and it's actually Fnatic who are like, okay, well, we're picking up some kills, we're getting control on this top side, and Pyros is doing a good job now of getting leads in his lane. So I think if I'm Giant X, this is where I'd like to see more movement between Isma and Jackies to try and impact these side lanes.
I think when you get to that level 6, the first Paranoia is similar to a first Stand United, super important, and Isma actually looking towards the top side here. Emperor has that bounty on his head. They'll dive onto him, no flash still on this Rumble, knocked back by the Entofos, veered back as well, and there's no escape really. An equalizer down just to clear the wave. Isma and Lot will secure Giant X's first kill of the game. Meanwhile, on the bottom side, Noah getting dived a little bit as Losper looked for the play with the heal going in. A Wild goes out as well, and Vladdy and Razork on their way across. TP coming out by Lot, still has the all-out to defend, and will do exactly that. The back away from Fnatic, realizing they couldn't enact the dive with Cassante on his way.
Nice call from Loss. Knows that he can't really get much more on the top side.
Oh no, Noah got stopped.
2-1 cho bên phía của Gate nha. Gate thắng được đó anh em. Gate có khi thắng cho mình đi live luôn. Fnatic ăn được mạng nhưng mà Fnatic lại thua tiền.
I'm not Atlas, man. I don't want to claim Slurkle for myself,
Look,
you know?
It's not. He's very proud when other people use it.
Yeah,
he was very
called
excited.
Arc of Judgment, and naming people at Riot spend a long time naming that. Jackie's flashing away from Vladdy here. Doesn't mean he no longer has that summoner. As Losper comes in to get the push out here for his mid laner. Meanwhile, Noah and Jun have switched over towards the top side and are going to be met by Emperos on this Rumble, who does have his flash back up, but no equalizer means he's going to have to be a little bit safer in this lane. Needs to back away to his tower immediately on seeing Noah. It's like, okay, I cannot be this far up.
Yeah, Giant X just thinking, hey, we don't have enough damage in the tank, it feels like, to contest at any sort of dragon play. So instead, going to invest a huge amount on that top half. Razork already starting up the dragon, trying to make this as quick as possible. But I think if you're Fnatic, as you say, Imperials kind of needs to back away. I don't think Losper and
2-1 cho bên phía của Fnatic mọi người ạ. Mẹ nhưng mà lại thua rộng với lại thua tiền. Để coi Fnatic sẽ xử lý như thế nào trong khoảng thời gian tiếp theo này. Con Afe này cần phải có cái gì đó để kiềm hãm con Afe lại.
Razork is on his side of the map, just stealing away those camps. Isma doing the same. It's going to be a blue and a Gromp exchange, really. Lot clears out the wave, and Upset unable to get through those extra plates.
Yeah, I'm just keeping my eyes on, like, as we were looking there, I think the biggest problem is that there wasn't really anything happening in the, any vision that was going down in the topside jungle for Fnatic. So all that Vladdy did was just back away, actually went for the reset. But because Giant X couldn't see where he was, it just completely was like, okay, we don't want to commit to anything topside. Jackies didn't actually shift to try and move into the top half of the map either. So Fnatic kind of get to defend the pressure on topside. They still get the dragon, and there's not really any sort of crossplay for Giant X.
Yeah, I agree with that. You can see lead developing for Razork, at least in terms of CS, about 5 camps ahead because of how much counter jungling he has been doing. Isma hasn't had the time really to clear out these camps himself. Upset having to dash away here. Moonlight Vigil not connecting. Could have been the death of him, but he's able to walk his way out. Ult for ult exchange there in mid lane between these two AD carries. Only a very slight gold lead between Fnatic and Giant X here. And with the Drake apiece, it's a very even early game, Dagda.
It definitely is. Like, I'm kind of being a bit negative on the way Giant X are playing.
Oh, they're looking bloody.
Yeah, there you go.
Paranoia. Everybody's coming to get
Rồi, nhưng mà vị trí của Isma thì sao đây? Isma vẫn nó chạy được quả này nha. Vị trí của Vladdy bị vô hiệu hóa lâu quá anh em.
Maybe he can protect his jungler. Jackie's kept safe. Losper was trying to collapse as well.
Excellently played by Vladdy. I think Fnatic were expecting this play on the top side. You already had Razork in position, and Vladdy ends up using the the EQ combo on the Azir to buy so much space. But
Jun has to use the wild growth on himself. Razork falling low. Isma looking for the
phải đánh ráng là bên phía của Fnatic đi đó.
And we'll have exactly that. Just walks his way out. Good tanking for his jungler. But yeah, as you say, the sliding sands, shuffling sands, whichever one it's called, from Vladdy, able to get himself out of range of that shockwave.
Yeah, and then already Razork there to try and set up, so really nice. Now Vladdy just looking to trade against Jackies.
Jackies doesn't have the flash, but can just walk his way out with the phase rush.
But yeah, as I was saying,
Shifting sense.
Shifting sense. I feel like I've been a little negative on the way Giant are playing, but it's still very much in their position to try and bring this game back. Like a couple of quick picks and you're in a decent spot. And it's just that I think they're missing a lot of opportunities that could have blown this game open for them, but they're definitely not out of this yet. As you can see, like if combo from
Này phần đã tích đánh hồi thua, nhìn cái thế này, phi thế phần đã tích gãy anh em ơi.
getting even more gold influx into Jackie's, I think you're in a good spot for Giant X.
I agree. Lead for Vladdy in the mid lane. The only real sizable chunk of change, anything over 500. Vladdy now sitting about 700 gold ahead. And with Jackie's flash coming back up, you can see that Emperor's Divide available as well to the Azir. Noah with a small lead in the AD carry spot, but with Upset cashing in his cull, that shrunk from what would have been about 600, now down to 300. Next Drake up in a minute 30-ish, as Noah continues to get the pressure in the mid lane here. We'll push in this cannon wave, and about one minion should be lost to the tower, although Upset's on his way very quickly, and Noah stopped using the Infernum, so Upset does actually catch that last minion. Lostspur, they kind of know. Lostspur goes in as the cow is...
Rồi hất tung được vị trí của con Afe nè. Tắt đèn từ vị trí của Nocturne, đẩy được về hai. Afe vẫn còn sống anh em ơi. Nhưng mà Afe tầm này chưa gây đam được. 3 mạng hạ, 2 mạng hạ gục có cho bên phía của Fnatic, nhưng mà ở khu vực đường dưới thì con Rumble thì bị solo kill. Rumble khu vực đường dưới bị solo kill anh em ơi.
On the ball, Vladdy might look for more though. Razor's going to put down the Rift Herald and the TP out by Jackie's. As he will manage to escape. Crystalline Overgrowth gets chunked out by Razork, and this will be the first tower of the game to Fnatic.
Still, even with that play happening, good job from Lot in this bot lane. Gets the solo kill against Imperos, manages an answer for the tower take as well. Kind of holding that play together, honestly, for a Giant X, because Fnatic finding that fight, finding the extra gold off the Rift Herald was huge. We'll see this replay now on the bottom side, and Impero's just not expecting Lot to be in that bush. Imagine the flick back into the pole.
Gì đây? Chỉ béo tay kill rồi, khu vực đường dưới mẹ mày sừng lót này cũng thằng Rumble này thua mẹ con Casante. Em chả hiểu kiểu gì mấy thằng này đánh Rumble toàn thua Casante, trong khi con Rumble là ăn con Casante đi lên nhé.
Fnatic know something is happening here. I'm not sure exactly how they knew where Giant X were. There was a ward behind, and Lots was just like, okay, my life behind, let's go.
Yeah, the fact that you end up knocking these Zins out away, though, a little unfortunate. But Fnatic just have more members in the area. Jackie's trying to come down from the top side, but now we're in towards Dragon and Lot on the front line.
Yeah, that's what trying to get in there, but Lot very tanky at the moment. Noah has a bunch of those crescendums, the chakrams around him. Vision cleared out. Lot looking for the knockback, gets Razork, and there's no escape.
Rạ dốc nằm xuống rất là đơn giản anh em ơi.
Can't use his crescent guard, and with the jungler down, Fnatic after retreat. Giant X get their second Drake of the game.
Nicely done by Giant X.
Quả vừa rồi con ra dốc nằm xuống cực kỳ đơn giản luôn.
The dragon, keeping that pressure up, but commanding that space in river is so important for a composition like this. The fact that it couldn't really step up, and they have to overextend in the fight, works out perfectly for them.
It really does. A lot now with the Iceborne Gauntlet and that Kanet Rooken. Very difficult to take out. You're looking at Vladdy and Upset. It's like, okay, we need a little bit of time and a few auto attacks if we're going to manage to get this one. Isma going in, clearing out a vision of his own. Emperor's coming in from the side as well. Upset with the slow, with the slurkle. Paranoia out. Isma dives forward, but Upset gets the kill. His first of the game. Now at 1,000.
Có cái mạng nhỏ dành cho vị trí cúp set anh em ơi. Mà hai đồng cho bên phía của GX nha. GX vẫn đang giữ cho một cái thế thượng phong ở trong game này. Cơ hội chiến thắng của họ vẫn là y nguyên.
Upset reading the situation well, gets the kill. Buys time for Vladdy on the bottom side as Giant X over pull in towards the mid lane. Again, just small little errors from Giant X after what was a good play.
Yeah, just an overstep overall, and because of that, Fnatic able to get a tower down towards this bottom side. We'll get about a 2,000 gold lead now at the 20-minute mark. Noah still trying to scale up on this Aphelios, but the lead that he had developed for himself in the early game has now evaporated. Behind in gold only by about a minion's wave or so. On this Aphelios, he's very comfortable. 10 and 4 on it all time in the LEC, but there's a lot of weight on his shoulders in this game. You've got the Shockwave Paranoia combo, but it's Black Cleaver, Experiment, Hexplate. You've got a 3,000 gold disadvantage.
Ở đây thì vị trí của Noah mất đi cho mình cái khủng lồ hóa, nhưng mà đồng thời với đó là vị trí của Rajok cũng mất đi quán Nguyệt Thương. Giao tranh tiếp theo là Noah hết, vừa hết khủng lồ hóa, vừa hết tốc biến, vừa hết tăng tốc. Tăng tốc chắc là có nhưng mà hết tốc biến.
I'm curious what Jun does continue to build. Traditionally, it's been the Shirelias first on a lot of the Lulus, especially when you got the Aphelios to try and speed you up into fights. So do you try and just opt in towards that Ardent Sensor to buff up Noah as much as possible in fights? Or do you end up trying to go the Shirelias route because so much of the fight will be happening away from you? I feel like you nearly need to make sure that Noah's getting into those fights. So it could be a while before that Ardent Sensor comes online, but at least with the Redemption style build here, to me, it says Jun thinks the fight's going to be on top of Noah rather than chasing.
Còn cái biến cốc của con Lulu thì cực kỳ khó chịu nha.
Have the ghost, so if he needs to get into the fight, he has one tool in his arsenal at least. But I agree that Shirelia will help. If the fight is on top of him, something like an Ardent Sensor helps a lot more. So with the Redemption, perhaps we are going to look down that attack speed buff route. 2 minutes on the next Drake would be sole point for Giant X as Razzle got upset and lost, but look, do they
Rồi bắt được vị trí của Noah. Noah hết flash nhưng mà Noah chạy như ngựa anh em ơi. Noah chạy nhanh quá. Upset ở đây bắn được hai đến từ vị trí của Upset anh em ơi. Bắn quay qua quay lại được 2 mạng. Thả thêm cái mưa tên lửa muốn bắt vào chiêu của Jackie nhưng mà Jackie vẫn còn như cái flash nữa. Không cho không có can trường lao vào nha, chỉ là 2 màn hạ gục nhỏ cho bên phía của Fnatic thôi. Bắt lẻ anh em ơi. Ở đây chắc khả năng cao bắt được Jackie luôn. Jackie vẫn còn flash nhưng mà tầm này bỏ mạng thôi. Chạy gì nữa. Jackie nằm anh em ơi. 3 màn hạ gục có cho bên phía của Noah mất luôn cái flash nữa. Noah mất luôn cái flash nữa. Anh là phèm mất flash thì là căng nha.
It's a hard work for Noah though, and Upset looks like he's going to interrupt him on the reset because these fights are just happening so quick. Fnatic are collapsing so well, but loss. Eyes on Upset in the mid lane. They want to make some play happen. Won't be looking for it for long though. As Fnatic again immediately on towards Noah, he does manage to escape away from this, and good job holding on to the summoner spells here. But
cái thế này là cái thế bên phía của Fnatic vừa thắng được mà cũng vừa thua được. Thua vẫn thua được.
And honestly, I thought Fnatic may feel comfortable to turn over towards the Baron, but trying to get on towards Jackie's, I think that ultimate, putting Razork and Bloody that little bit too low, where they don't want to follow through, especially as they can get the kill here as well, and they just want to hold on to their mid lane turrets, as that's where GX were trying to put pressure.
I think the risk as well is lots alive and no.
Con rồng còn 30 giây nữa ra nha. Con rồng còn 30 giây nữa ra nha anh em ơi. Cái cơ hội chiến thắng vẫn là còn dành cho cả hai bên tại thời điểm này.
Yeet the skill shots into the ether and they'll hit something. Lulu very squishy, obviously, as is Isma on this Nocturne. Fnatic now with a 4,000 gold lead. Giant X still have some possibilities, but it's beginning to bleed. It's beginning to become a lot trickier for them to actually find ways into these fights. Upsets at 3 items, at 3 kills with the Fiend Hunters, the Kraken Slayer, and the Lord Dominic's regards complete. Vladdy almost at 3 himself. Zonya's and that Nash's tooth finished. And Giant X just trying to find a little bit of gold on the map where they can. They're going to give up this Drake. Razork's already on it. No real reason for them to fight over it. It's a second dragon. Instead, they'll take their time to try and garner some vision control towards this top side.
Yeah, Emperor's going to catch the wave. Doesn't have TP available, so Fnatic look like they're just going to try and push out waves, reset, and get themselves back out and be as strong as possible. Upset, as you say, with 3 items now, incredibly strong. It feels like Fnatic kind of have their opportunities now to keep Giant X on their side of the map, prevent them from making these quick pick plays, and just keep that pressure up around that Baron area and see if Giant X overextend at some point.
Step in, get a little bit of vision for yourselves as well. Unsung hero of this game, well, it will be sung now. Lost, but having a really good Alistair performance overall. Willing to throw himself into the fire to allow his teammates to pick up the pieces afterwards. And I mean, it's kind of what Alistair does, and people will be like, well, obviously you're just going to eat your QW in or WQ in. But he's been in the right spot at the right times and has found his man more often than not.
And the Zeke's conversions help him with that as well. You got that AoE.
Đám 4 cho bên phía của Fnatic. Fnatic có 2 con rồng anh em ơi. Cái thế mà combat thì Noah không có flash thì bên phía của GX cũng nhót. Noah không có flash, GX cũng nhót.
And he's leading the charge here. Definitely a strong performance in the way he's linked up with Razork across this game.
Being in the right place at the right time really often, and now Fnatic calling Giant X to the Baron pit. Lot does have TP, but meanwhile, right now is right at the bot side. It's going to teleport in. The Baron down to about 7,000. It's a tricky one because Lot can just face check. Losper looking for that flank position. Paranoia coming out. Noah chipped away. Losper trying to get onto the backline. Immediately dives onto Noah. The wild growth out. There's a polymorph too. Razork jumping in, and that Aphelios is sent to the moon. Upset gets another. Giant X all flash out as Fnatic clean up the fight and now turn their eyes back towards the Baron.
That nearly looked dicey for Fnatic. Giant X getting the combo onto 2 members, but Losper jumping on towards Noah, and it's panic stations for Giant X as they try to save the AD carry.
And that's the weakness, right? If Noah's dead, Jackie's isn't strong, no one else really has the power. Have another look at this Losper with a really good flank position overall.
Yeah, there's so much pressure on towards this left-hand side of the screen, but Losper immediately jump onto Noah, blocks the ultimate as well from the Aphelios, so there is no follow-up damage to try and take out Vladdy. And just like that, Fnatic, they find the fight that they want, and it's Baron in their back pockets.
And now a 6,000 gold lead for them alongside it. Fnatic play this mid game really well. Empros, who was the star of the early game, really hasn't had to do too much. It's been up on an upset Losper, and Vladdy actually having some really good plays to catch out Jackie's in that mid game.
And it's also funny, Losper coming into this game was talking about, hey, if I can mark Jun for these good flank opportunities, you know, that's how we're going to win. But it's actually Losper with those great flank opportunities as, hello, Jake, as just really, really solid play from the Fnatic support. And now they're reaping the benefits. Push on bot lane, push on mid. You have a very short-range composition as Giant X, and Jackie's can't be in 2 lanes at once. So Fnatic tearing through these structures as they go.
Just extending that lead, still have Baron for 2 minutes. We'll say the flanking
Quả Fnatic này tiếc ghê anh em ơi.
doesn't really tend to do too much.
Nó
Giant
không
X
được khô
licking their
máu với nó.
wounds, trying to find a way back into the game, and they do have some tools. You know, you've got an Aphelios. He's almost at 3 items. He does do a lot of damage, but you gotta work really hard to protect him.
Trận sau KC đánh với Jichu, anh em nghĩ KC win được không?
So many of these luxury items.
Mọi người nghĩ KC win nổi không?
Able to build because they have the lead. 2 people have a Zhonya's or a Seeker's. You've got a Guardian Angel on Razork. Upset the only one without something that brings him back from the brink of death, but he's Upset. He's very good at protecting himself when he needs to.
He's also kind of just bringing death, to be perfectly honest.
That he is. 4 kills so far on the game. Noah trying to clear out this wave. Losper flashes in, gets the headbutt, looks for the pulverize backwards. The Paranoia coming out as well. They've dived onto Noah. Moonlight Vigil goes to absolute Narnia. Jun caught out on the backside as Fnatic rip.
Gì đây? KC với G2 thì thường ngửa cho G2 thôi anh ạ. Nhưng mà KC đợt này có thằng Kaibu em, thằng đó đánh cũng gọi là cũng bén. Anh đang tính thử KC một lần, không biết được không? Trời, KC nhìn cũng được, KC nhìn cũng được mà hết chỗ này anh rồi. Anh đuối quá em ơi, ngày mai like.
Jackie's and Isma, what can you do against 5 men of Fnatic? Empros flashes in, trying to take the game into his own.
Trận này bên phía của GX tự ngửa anh em ơi, con Ape hầu như chả làm gì. Con Ape tự cút. Ape chả làm gì được luôn. Noah Fnatic cho chúng ta thấy quyết định kích Noah là quyết định sáng suốt anh em ơi. Và đó là cái chiến thắng cho bên phía của Fnatic.